with the pen, I'm learning life. My thirst is divine, words inspire in perfect time. Nurtured right, them man there be learning lines, rehearsing life. Trust me, far from certified. Active while you sleep, I'm working nights. I want all the ups to feel like that Jurgen guy on Merseyside.
I am. How about now? How about now? Let me know. Let me know. Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I've got to wait to hear what you guys say before I even start this shit now. Can't be asked. Right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes, I'm getting a couple yeses. I need a bit more because I'm not trusting this shit for anything. But yeah, I think we've got it. I think we got it. Nice, nice. Big up everybody that's locked in. Like, subscribe. What a shit start that was. But we're here. We're here. Big up everybody. Plenty of transfer news to get into. We're going to be talking about N'Golo Kante. What else are we going to talk about before this shit goes on the blink again? We'll discuss Vivell for a little bit, but there's not really much to get into with that one. It's just good to see him finally across the line. Wesley Fofana's injury. Chelsea beating Brentford 5-1. We won a game, people. Hey, Havertz got a hat-trick as well. And don't switch your stream over. Like, I do mean it when I say he did get a fucking hat-trick. So we're going to delve into that. We're going to delve into Makuku, Vlahovic, Broja's injury, Zubimendi. That came out of nowhere, but we'll touch on that for a little bit. And yeah, plenty to get into. Plenty to get into. As always, before I start, check out Jerseys FC down in the description below for all your best affordable football kits. We're doing countries as well as clubs. As you guys can see, I got the Brazil shirt on. Even got a nice little Belgian shirt too. Had to get the goat on the back as always. So you guys can get shirt printing from there as well. Use the code CarefreeLewisG for 20% off. As usual, they're doing club kits too. Got the home kit, got the away kit. They asked me to show you guys these as well. So if you guys want anything like this, check out Jerseys FC in the description below. We are going to do the third kit lottery next stream. I am so sorry, guys. I just haven't had the time to set up the lottery. But that is happening. It's happening. So you guys have one more stream. If you guys want to join the lottery for the third kit, the next one, we're going to do it. But yeah, big up everybody that's in here. We're back. I feel healthy again. Kind of healthy. My throat's still a little bit weak, but we're basically back to 100%. And yeah, big up everybody. Big up. I think the mic isn't going to die on me again today. I hope, but famous last words. Famous last words. Let's see what everyone's saying. Big up Ethan. Saying Fofana only had one big injury with us at Leicester. My only worry with Fofana is that maybe that big injury has triggered everything that's happened since then, because it's been 2 injuries for Chelsea in under 4 months. And he had more time to recover from this last injury than we originally thought he needed. Originally, he was meant to be back before we went to the World Cup. Now, it got pushed back another month. He had 1 game and he's back to being injured. Now I'm a little bit worried. Just a little bit worried. I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say he is injury prone, but It's not looking good, especially for someone we got on a 6-year contract. It is not looking good. Not looking good. Henrik, big up for the Zubimendi lookout. I just had a little bit of research into him. I think apparently he's meant to be Xavi's next Busquets replacement. From what I've seen, very good at 1v1 duels. Passing's obviously good. He's got nice vision. There's questions about his physicality and his PMP, but it's only questions, and I'm not going to be the one that answers those questions. I have literally researched him for about all of 10 minutes. He looks good. He looks good. He's a sore player where if we brought him in, I wouldn't be having alarm bells ringing, but I also don't know if he's going to be the one that we go for. He did just re-sign on a new deal for 2 years, which takes him to 2027, which means if we go in for him, we're going to be paying the max fee for him because they're not going to sell him on the cheap or anything like that. So I don't know if Zubimendi is going to be the guy we go for. Do really like the name as well for obvious reasons, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening really. What else? Gvardiol, I see that I'm going to come back to that in a little second. Appreciate you coming up with all these updates as well, my guy. I hope you're doing well. Chelsea want their complete revamp done by 2024. This doesn't surprise me because that's just realistic. Within 2 years' time, our squad should be ready. So this isn't like big news to me or anything. And I don't think it should be big news to any of you guys either. That's just the way it should be. By 2024, the majority of our squad should be sorted. We should have got rid of most of the dead wood. And then it's all just about replacing players that we'll need to replace by that period. But most of our legwork should be done by then. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much. Zubimendi would be an insane Jorginho replacement. If he has the PMP in him, because that's what a lot of people want that Jorginho doesn't have. That I don't know a lot about, so I can't answer that question to you. But technically, he looks good. He's a good passer, short and long. He's got good vision. From what I've read, good decision making. And in terms of 1v1s, is very, very good. Like I saw a chart and he's literally at the top for DMs in the Liga for 1v1 duels and defending. So, yeah, like, it looks promising. What else are we seeing? Chelsea are confident of securing the deal for Brazilian Andre Santos. The Blues are set to beat Newcastle and Barcelona to a teenage midfielder. Again, we'll just have to play that one by ear. He's more of a box-to-box midfielder, which we are still looking for. Just all depends on who he wants to pick, because there's other options out there. He could easily go Barca. We know for most Brazilians and South Americans, their dreams is to go to a Barcelona or a Real Madrid. So sort of guaranteed that he'll end up at Chelsea. But play it by ear. We'll see what happens with that one. If he goes to another club, I'm not going to cry too much about it. If he comes to Chelsea, nice. Welcome to the Chelsea. Right, let me go past all the muted comments. Wait, let me make sure I'm not muted still. All right, good. Because now I'm hella paranoid. All right, we're back. Big up Galib. Big up Dyke. Carefree Tree. Leslie Dyke. Senegalese Maldini. Steve. Jean-Emmanuel. Ilias. Old Habits Kai Hard. Mitchy Boy. Big up everybody that's in here. Hit the like button. We need to get as far back up the algorithm as possible because the World Cup fucking tanked us. So everyone, if you want to do one thing for me today, just press that like button. Press the button because I know we ain't hit 100 likes. I know we ain't. 41. We ain't even got to 100. Guys, hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. I'm going to do a poll in a little bit because I want to know what shirt you guys want for the next giveaway because we're going to run that in a couple weeks time. Yeah, in a couple weeks time we'll end up running that. So let me know which when I do the poll, just do your thing. Let me know what shirt you guys want. And yeah, Chelsea inquiring about Garnacho. I have not read this shit anywhere. You must... I don't believe that for 1 second. Are we really in for fucking Garnacho? I'll do one Twitter search, and if this ain't true... Garnacho Chelsea's the first thing that came up. Fucking hell. Raw, we're actually in for him. I know we're focusing on the future and everything. We're going for everybody's youth prospect. First, there was that 15-year-old from Arsenal, Ethan Nwaneri or whatever his fucking name is. Now this, mad. Guess he looks good. He's had a decent season for United so far, but yeah, I don't know if that's anything I'm gonna jump up and down for or anything like that. So, yo, that's mad. I didn't know we were in for him. We are basically in for anybody under the age of 18. Pause. We really are. It's fucking mad. Wesley Fofana is expected to return in 3 to 4 weeks. It's not a serious injury. That's good. That's good at least. But I need to see if he's going to be one of them injury-prone players or not. Because I don't want to jump to conclusions yet about it, but it don't look good. It don't look good. Luca, yeah. Havertz scored a hat-trick yesterday. Madness. Fucking madness. Apparently one of the goals was very good. But I didn't see it. So I don't know what to make of it. It could have been a banging hat-trick. It could have been Michy Batshuayi versus Nottingham Forest level hat-trick. And it could have just been the worst hat-trick in history. I don't know. I don't really care. Just do it in a serious game. It's good to see him get a hat-trick. It is genuinely good because maybe it'll be good for his confidence. Maybe he'll go back to the same old shit. I don't know. But I need to see consistency in the Premier League before I really say anything. Bournemouth's coming up next. I feel like he would have pushed himself into the starting lineup with a performance like that. So do it then. Do it then. Do it in a serious game. And yeah, we will all see it. The world will see it. And we can make our judgments from that. Until then, it's all good. But this is the equivalent to that Barnsley hat-trick. Just don't mean a thing. Well, it means less than that because the game don't even mean shit. But yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see. Senegalese Maldini says, show me the hat-trick then. You're taking the piss. Didn't see it, didn't happen. It didn't happen. But we move. Yeah, we are back. I said Kante is my player, but he can fuck off to Barca. That's fucking crazy. That is crazy. Don't care about a friendly game that has 3 halves. Like, what the fuck? I mean, the game ain't serious anyway. Was it 3 halves of 45 or was it 3 halves of 30 minutes? What was it? Simon Phillips had an article. Chelsea beat Brentford today in a behind closed doors friendly at Kings Meadow. Havertz bagged a hat-trick in a game that was played across 3 45-minute halves. All right, cool. Mount was missing in the lineup. Oh, that is bad for his PR. That is bad. No, but the rest consisted of a mix of academy and varsity players. No way we dropped Mount and won 5-1. This guy's PR is in the fucking mud. Oh my gosh. Fofana went off injured in the game, holding his knee and looking quite upset. Extended injury has not been confirmed, but we know he's out for basically 3 to 4 weeks. One of Havertz's goals has been described to me as very, very good. I could predict it is the standard outside the box left footer into the top left. I can already vision it because he's got that on lock. I'll give him that. Sorry, we've had this info for an hour now. I've just been trying to confirm it all. Yeah, that's all we know from the Brentford game. Chelsea, release the highlights, bruv. Release the highlights. Otherwise, I'm just going to think this is PR. Actually, no, it's not PR because then Mount would have started. But yeah. Lewis, let's not spend time on Potter out in discussion. Yeah, bro, I ain't going to bring it up. If anyone else does, that's on them, but I ain't going to bring it up. I told you in the DM a few weeks ago about Zubimendi. Trust me, bro, he's the next one. No matter what price Sociedad asks, get him immediately. I'm going to be real. Guys, I trust Galib's word because Galib's actually a scout. I think for a second-tier team in Russia, correct me if I'm wrong, my friend, but yo, if you rate Zubimendi, I mean, that is a very good stamp of approval for me, but I still need to do more research. Leao's certainly a player I'll take. Leao is flirting with Chelsea. He's dead-ass flirting with Chelsea. Quote tweeting that Tiggs thing. You think I can't see your game, bruv? Everybody in their nan knows Tiggs works with Chelsea. So we see you, Leao. We see you. And, like, I've already said I have my reservations over certain aspects of his game, but if we're going to bring in Leao, I've got nothing against it. Nothing against it. I do think he improves us. I think if we play him in the 9, we get all of his best qualities. Even playing at left wing, Scott made a very good point about how his presence alone will open up space for other players. So pros outweigh the cons massively. So yeah, if he wants to come Chelsea, I'm here for it. And we can already open negotiations in January when we start talking about Benacer. So I'm here. Liao, in my opinion, is no different to Zaha. Boy, that ain't right. That ain't right. We need to question how our players are treated when they're coming back from injury and rushing back players. I'm not sure, because Fofana was meant to be back earlier, though. He was meant to be back like a month early. So I don't know if that's the case with this one. I really don't know. Big up C1. My guy, was a really good stream on Twitch yesterday. I need to put down the description as well, because we're doing all Agenda FC streams on the Twitch. So if you guys haven't done it already, subscribe. I need to put it in the comments, though. Bear with me for a sec. Right, there's the Twitch. Everyone sub. Everybody sub. I'm gonna put it in my description as well. Should have done this earlier, but bear with me. Calm. Need to scroll down a bit. I'm behind again. Chelsea turned up for Brentford in friendly, but it's what they do in the next game that's more important. Facts. Like, it's just nice to see us win a game, even though we didn't see it. But it would be even better to see us win a Premier League match. Yes, bro, this is a Thiago Silva shot. Can't really turn to the back, but yeah, Thiago Silva shot. Had to get it, although I wish it arrived before Brazil got eliminated. But I also ordered it a bit late, so that's on me. That's on me. A top source told me Chelsea desperately want to sign Gvardiol, and I've been non-stop on this deal for weeks. Chelsea are pushing for January to get ahead for competition. It's mad that we're going for him and Nkunku in January, but I've seen a few reports saying this. My only question is who's going out for this, though, because we keep hearing about the one in, one out policy. We got Nkunku and Gvardiol coming in, and nobody's gone out yet. So I'm interested to see who could be going out for this one. Obviously, I'm not against Gvardiol coming in. I still need to see a midfielder come in, and that's of more importance to me personally than Gvardiol coming in. But obviously, I'm not saying no if the player comes in. I'm not going to be pissed off if the player comes in. The only thing that's going to irritate me is if we don't sort out the midfield. But with that all in mind, that's over 200 million spent already without anyone going out. So my biggest question is, who is leaving? Because someone must be leaving. Maybe even it could be someone in the summer, which could lead into the N'Golo Kante topic with Barcelona's interest. I don't know. But someone has to be leaving, in my opinion. But yeah, Gvardiol coming in, like, it's good to see Chelsea on the front foot again. We are moving very smart with the way that we're dealing with these transfers. Just need to see who goes out, needs to see what midfielders come into. Any update on Fofana? Fofana should be in a couple days or weeks or so. I'm not too fussed about him. That's another future transfer. I said never doubt the generational talent. Brother, if he does it again and again and again and again, then we can have a conversation. Until then, like, it's good to see you score a hat-trick. Well, even though I haven't seen it, but I ain't moved. I am not moved at all. I need to see this consistently. And not even consistent hat-tricks, because that is a bit too much to ask for. Just get on the score sheet a bit more. Get on the score sheet. Bring me some GNA. Bring me some impact. You bring me some consistent impact. I'm going to be here on stream praising you. But I need to see that. Until I see that, shit, I don't care, bro. I don't care. What else is everyone saying? Yeah, Mount's injured. Mount's injured, but I think it's minor. I don't know I don't know the seriousness of the injury, but hell, maybe some time off would be good for him. Get him away from the public eye a little bit. Let him start fresh, and you never know. You could see a better player when he comes back. But Mount needs some time away from the starting lineup, injury or no injury. So it is what it is. By the way, half the fan base is celebrating it. It is fucking crazy, bruv. It's ridiculous. But that's what happens when you overplay somebody. You just get sick of them. His name is Certi as well. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it, bruv. I hear it. Yo, I forgot to even talk about that. Yeah, Liverpool could be coming in for Mount again. I saw that come on the timeline a few days ago. Be interesting to see how that develops. Now, if Mason Mount ends up at Liverpool, everybody who dropped this proper Chelsea narrative needs to come outside, because we need to have some very uncomfortable conversations about the propaganda that I've seen and about the end result of it. But it's still very unrealistic right now. Very unrealistic. But I will say, if this contract situation is not sorted by the end of the season, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Because one of the things I saw from, what was his name? I think it was Simon Phillips or Fabrizio, was that Chelsea are looking to get rid of anybody whose contract is expiring before 2024. That doesn't look like they want to re-sign. The same thing goes to Mount. So we'll see how that develops. We'll see how that develops. Vlahovic, I will come back to that. I've saved your thing, so I'll come back to that. Just need to get a bit closer to the comments. Big up everybody in here though. Like, subscribe. If you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, drop a super chat. Also, if you do want to just help the channel out, do it as well. If not, hit the like button, people. We got over 200 of you guys in here. We only have 65 likes. We still ain't reached 100, guys. You lot are moving hella stingy. It's Christmas, bro. Where's your Christmas spirit? Just help a man out. Press the like button. Press the like button. Yeah, Steve, I had to get at least one Brazil shirt. Had to. The colorway's just too cold. Too cold. And plus, it's Thiago Silva's last World Cup. So, had to do it for the boy. Chelsea and Arsenal both rejected a chance to sign Cunha. I don't know too much about him to say anything, but yeah, doesn't really stand out too much for me. Lewis, look at Pi's tweet. What's he tweeted about now? I'll have a quick look. Big up Poku, though. I hope you're good. Hope you. Fafana's expected to return in 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, we know that, bro. Christopher Vivell saying Chelsea are building the most exciting project in global football. It's good to see that we fully announced him as well. Apparently, he's going to be working hand in hand with Graham Potter on transfers. And it's good. We're building our infrastructure. I think all we need now is a director of football. And we've sorted out everything. And yeah, it's good to see everything continue to develop. Very good. The biggest question, though, is how does it improve our transfer activity and who comes in? But that is all speculation. We just have to wait and see. There's another step in the right direction with Gvardiol, in my opinion, bringing in people from the Leipzig backroom. We have already good terms with Leipzig, even without taking their backroom staff or their players. And yeah, things are going the right way with Gvardiol. Things are going the right way. The real question, though, is how does he stunt Levi Colwell's progress? That's the real question, people. But we'll save that for another stream. I said bye Mount, end of. Big up Lewis. Troops absolutely hates Giroud. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him. But big up, big up. I'm just wearing this because I like the shirt. Plus, Jersey's FC promo. So, yeah. Check it out and use the code CarefreeLewisG for 20% off, people. Just check yesterday's transfer market price. Mount is 70 to 90. Yo, if we could get that much for him. Sorry, Mount. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Will you be having a celebration stream if Mount leaves? Depends. Depends on how the rest of the season goes. Like, Mount has given me way more consistency than Havertz has, for example. So I don't know if I'd have the same energy. But it all depends on how it goes. It depends how the negotiations go. I think if Mount left, the stream would be iconic regardless. It would be fucking ridiculous. But we have to see. We have to see. I won't say too much. Donation, Mr. Smith, big up yourself, my guy. How many super chats do you need to get a 4K camera and some better lighting? We need a lot more, bruv. We need a fucking lot more. I do need to get a ring light, though. That's a very good shot. I haven't really sorted out my lighting too much. We need a lot more investment. So, yeah, camera, that will probably come in the summer. That will come in the summer. Ring light, I could probably get that sorted in a week or two. But appreciate the donation. You've done your bit to help. My guy. My guy. And yeah, start a fund to upgrade the stream in 2023. You, man, you know what to do. You know what to do. What else is everyone saying? Lewis, will Chelsea get a better striker? We are linked with Vlahovic, but so is a string of other clubs. Felix ain't really a striker, but we're linked with him too. Fofana isn't going to be a long-term... I mean, he's not going to be an instant option for us. Yeah, I don't know. Striker isn't our problem anyway. I keep saying Aubameyang is not the issue. The problem is we don't feed him enough chances. You have to look further back towards Mount and Havertz. They are our problem. So I haven't really got too much energy for strikers right now. We need better creators. You can tell Klasref was just a Man fan. When Timo left, so did he. Hey, big up Klasref. But yeah, it is what it is. You would have to get... You think Johnny would be anywhere? You won't see him on social media if Mount leaves. Big up Johnny, as always. But yeah, he definitely wouldn't hop on my stream. Because everyone would just be taking the piss. Everyone would be taking the piss. I will be locked into the Minerals FC stream if that happens, though. Locked in, popcorn in one hand, Zubi in the other. I'm going to just enjoy some good content, bruv. Bigger flop, Havertz or Sancho? Well, right now it's Sancho. Like, I'll say what I want about Havertz, but Havertz is not as bad of a flop as Sancho is. Sancho's literally done fuck all. Havertz, even though I hate the excuse, has turned up in finals. He has done more than Sancho has. So, no. Yeah, Sancho is a way bigger flop. Way bigger flop. Hey, Lewis, if you have a de-flicker effect in your streaming, it will help with the strobe light effect. I've got a strobe light effect. Shit. I don't know. Big up, but you man are dumb low. If you don't rate Mount at all, you don't know ball. Yeah, critic when he plays shit, but the constant agenda of him out is laughable. I don't necessarily want him out. I just don't think it's that deep if he leaves. We will rebuild. We will move on. We will get better. It's just not that deep to me. Right now, Mason Mount is a squad player. He is not one of our best players because he doesn't play like one of our best players and he doesn't play at that level consistently. Like, Mount has to prove people wrong. Mount has not proven people wrong this season. He had a nice little 2-game purple patch against Wolves and AC Milan and then disappeared again. Even the Villa game, it was 2 good moments from him. It wasn't a good game. So... like, Mount is getting deserved criticism. Let's call it what it is. He deserves the criticism that he's getting right now. So it's not a case of if you don't rate Mount at all, you don't know ball. Mount's playing like shit. Play well. Because when it was 2021, Mount weren't getting criticised because he was performing consistently. He is not doing that anymore. I think, personally, you're just too protective of Mount. But it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. I said wallpaper from 1962. Which one's that, bruv? Are you talking about that? That's so 506, bruv. That's how I got the goat laugh. I can't be asked. Lewis, will you sell Mount to Liverpool if you're sure he's not good enough? It depends on the amount. If they came in with anything over 50, 60 million for Mount, I wouldn't blame Chelsea for selling right now. I wouldn't. Because he's not playing at that level. Anybody not called Reece James, their positions are not 100% guaranteed at this club. So it is what it is. Mount ain't up there either because he doesn't deserve to be. I agree with what you just said, but all I hear is Mount out. It's wrong. It all depends on the context. If you're just saying Mount out without any reasons, then I understand what you're saying, but like, there's reasons why people are saying it. All Mount has to do is play well. Just play well consistently. Turn up with consistent big chances created from open play as well, not stat padding from corners. Just do well. Don't get dispossessed as much. And the criticism would disappear. It's the same thing with me with Havertz. I am the most critical guy on Kai Havertz. If Kai Havertz was consistently having impacts in games, I wouldn't be criticizing him. I'd be praising him. Just stop vindicating people. That's why I always say with the players, all you have to do is perform on the pitch and the criticism disappears. It's like what Eric Ten Hag said about the boos for Harry Maguire. He said, if you play well, the boos disappear. Play well. That's all you need to do. And if you do that, no one's going to say a thing. Nobody's going to say a thing, my friend. On the N'Golo Kante stuff, because I didn't even speak about that. I saw this yesterday from Ekrem Connor saying Kante is pushing for a move to Barcelona when his Chelsea deal ends next summer, and he is in advanced talks over a pre-contract agreement, which doesn't really surprise me too much because we knew N'Golo was waiting until January to assess his options. There was other stuff from him earlier in December. Just need to find the tweet. Oh, no, it's my old one. Yeah, but he's been tweeting about it for a week or for the last few weeks. Barca aren't really the smartest club financially, so I'm not too surprised by this, but I'm not surprised by N'Golo Kante either because he's looking for his last big payday. If he wants to go to Barca, it is what it is. We need to rebuild anyway. Kante should only be a rotation option for us anyway from next season. We shouldn't be relying on him the same way we shouldn't be relying on Jorginho either. If Kante goes to Barcelona, bless, you've been a legend for this club, but we shouldn't be relying on N'Golo Kante this much either because he is not that reliable. His body isn't that reliable. His style of play is only going to cause more injuries. And I even think his performances are on a decline as well. You look at his performances last season, it wasn't good enough. And he was costing us games. So if N'Golo Kante wants to go to Barcelona, big up, bless. But I'm not going to cry or anything about it. It's the right time. It is just the right time. Let me know what you guys are saying, though. Mount is talented and can offer a lot. I agree this season has been shite, but give the lad time. I will, as long as he doesn't ask for stupid wages. He shouldn't be asking for 200 to 300k a week because he's not playing at that level. And I think if Mount was a humble person, he'd ask for a 1 or 2 year extension with a small pay rise because he is on 88k and he deserves more than that. I will give you that. But I would be asking for a short-term extension for a year or two. I would buck up my performances, and then I would ask for 200, 300. The fact that he's asking for that already really rubs me the wrong way with him. So that's where my patience is running thin. Because the nerve to ask for those wages on this form is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Man said, Calma Kante. Kante looks like he's leaving. I think he's more likely to leave than Jorginho is. So I don't mind. I really don't mind him leaving, bro. And yeah, I agree. It would be nice to get some money for him, but that's the old regime's fault. Same thing with Christensen and Rudiger. Very, very short-termist, those guys. And they're the reason why we're in the mess that we're in right now. Less techie Barkley. Who said that? Are they talking about Mount? Oh my, I can't be bothered. Man said a less techie Barkley. You lot are taking a piss now. You lot are taking a piss. What if after the operation he is back to young Kante? What if he's already signed a pre-contract agreement with Barca by then? Our hands are tied. If he hasn't, and he stays fit and plays consistently, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But that's a lot of ifs. All I've seen in the last 3 years is an injury-prone N'Golo. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want to see that. 300k. Yeah, 300k a week is crazy, bro. It's craziness. Chelsea acquired land next to Bridge. I don't know when it's gonna start either, but it should be within a year or two. Look, I understand what you're saying with that, but I also understand that he does deserve an extension from 88k a week. That is fair. To push it up to 200 is a piss take. But if he was asking for Havertz or Kepa's wages of like 150k a week, I'd be like, you know what? Fine. We fucked ourselves by giving them that wage anyway. You might as well. I don't think that would be too much to ask for. But anything above that would be where I'm saying you're crossing the line. One last hurrah in the Champions League. If we can do it, let's do it. That would be the perfect way to say goodbye to N'Golo. But have to see it first. McAllister over Mount. Crazy to say, but then almost the same age, and look at the development. This is why I'm not too fussed whether Mount stays or goes. People just want Mount to stay because Cobham. They like the fact that we built a Cobham player and everything like that. If he came from Hale End or something, nobody would care. Nobody would care. But that's why I don't really care too much about him being on a massive contract. Can we look at Amrabat? I would like us to look at Amrabat. I think we could realistically get him in January too, because I feel like Fiorentina would want to get the max profit for him. So, yeah, if we could, go for it. Go for it. But we have to see. Why would we sell Mount to Liverpool and strengthen them when he can barely keep up with them? I mean, if other clubs came in for him, that's fine. But sell Mount or just re-sign him on 200 to 300k a week. I would rather we sell him. And yeah, just to round off, yeah, Ismail Benacer's new agent will be meeting AC Milan in the next few hours for a contract extension discussion. Although I feel like Benacer's already quietly on his way out. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe he ends up re-signing. I don't know. But Benacer, I would love to see at Chelsea. That, to me, is the long-term Jorginho replacement. Hell, maybe you could bring him and Zubimendi in, but I still think Zubimendi just costs more. Costs way too much more. Whereas Benacer, you could look at around 40, 50 mil for him. 40 to 50 mil. Right, I'm going to send the link out. We'll see what the panel is saying. Big up everybody that's in here, though, and hit the like button. Hit the like button, my guys. Let's see what everyone's saying. Yep, this shit's still moving slow. Can't be bothered. Anyone else? Cool, yeah, no, that's everyone off 12. Cool. I think that's everyone. I think that is everybody. Yes, guys. Who's playing music?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's me. So
No worries, bruv. No worries. Well, what are you saying, Josh? You all good, bruv?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you guys been?
Yeah, we've been decent. We've been decent. Nearly back to club football. Nearly back.
Yeah, not too far. What, another 6 days?
Yeah, 6 days.
The 27th, right?
Yeah, 27th, Chelsea versus Bournemouth. But hey, we got our first win in fucking ages. Beat Brentford 5-1. Kai Havertz hat trick. Zakaria scored. Who else scored?
Do they always have 2 days of Boxing Day fixtures? Is it always the day after and the 2 days after Christmas, or is it just usually the day after?
It's usually just a giant mess between Boxing Day and New Year's. There's games every day, really.
Yeah, because
sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't actually.
It's only us and United, I think, that play the 27th. Everybody else plays on Boxing Day. So it was like kind of just a weird thing. But I couldn't remember if last year, I thought maybe it was one of those days where they just play all the games on one day, but
they just wanted to guarantee they got us losing in 4K. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Doc, appreciate the donation, my guy. We're getting to that 4K camera. Let's go. What should we start with? What's your thoughts on the Fofana injury? First off, what's your thoughts on that? Any worry about him potentially being injury prone, or do you think it's just another little setback that he just needs to get through?
If he's injury prone, I'm happy that it's a youngster, not the.
Yeah, I mean it's a completely different injury than what he saw from his broken ankle. That I saw some people saying, "Oh, didn't he go to New York? What do they do?" Like he went to New York to have his broken ankle looked at. It had nothing to do with his knees. His knees were fine. I was disappointed that he was even playing in any kind of game yesterday, to be honest with you. And I understand. Like, listen, I don't need my intelligence insulted. I understand that these guys, in order to get back to match fitness, have to kind of take part in some sort of game type scenario to maybe get their fitness back. But I think with a guy like this who's been out for a while, who you need back in your team, who you're trying to get back, you can. No one said he had to play in the Bournemouth game, right? He didn't have to play in that game. There's no need to rush that back. If you needed another week to maybe let him play a U23 game or something like that, where he can participate in a game type scenario, I think they could have went that way with it. But at this point, it is what it is.
I agree with that for another. Because defense, we never really had a defensive crisis.
Yeah, listen,
Chalobah came in was better.
Right. Like, he's not somebody that you're absolutely I'd love to have him back. He's a great player, but he's not somebody that, like, at the moment, if you don't have him for Bournemouth, you're fucked. So I think they could have taken another week, let him continue to practice with the team, let him play a U23 game and during the midweek just to test it, to get some minutes. But injuries, it's unfortunate. I was really disappointed to hear that.
He was
EPL
injured
as well. Much love, my friends. Appreciate the donation, bro. Go on, Alex.
His injury was the knee injury.
No, I think he broke his leg. That's what his injury was. He broke his leg at Leicester. It wasn't an ACL. His big injury that he had to go get checked out was a broken leg.
So all this time that he was on the injury was because of his ankle?
This most recent injury. It was for a ligament strain. I don't know if it's the ACL or what ligament it was, but he strained one of his knee ligaments.
So and that's now what they're saying.
They're saying he re-aggravated the same thing. Yeah. Wow. Which to me means he wasn't fully ready to be out there, and I put that on the staff. Because if he
pushed himself,
right, he had a knee injury in October. Yeah, it was a knee injury in October.
Yeah, he had a ligament strain where he stretched his ACL or whatever ligament. I don't know the exact ligament. And then this was a reoccurrence of that, just not to the same extent.
I will say, I'm looking at his injury history. There is 4 knee injuries between 1920 and 2021. One for 56 days, another one for 19 days. one for 12 days, and one at Leicester for 6. But there seem to be a few knee injuries there.
I wonder if it's the same leg.
Yeah, it doesn't specify on here, but it does say like he has had a string of knee injuries, and the last one was another knee injury. So I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't look good, but it's a bit early to say. EPL, again, thank you for the donation. We will be getting a ring light with that. Appreciate that. Kai, have some shame, brother. Have some shame, man. You're taking the piss, bro.
Yeah, that I don't wish injuries on guys or anything like that. I just think if he was at the point to where he was able to re-aggravate this so easily in a 45-minute training half, then he probably wasn't ready to be out there yet. And I don't think there was any need to rush him back into any sort of game scenario at this moment. But it is what it is. It's done and dusted. It sounds like it's going to be another 3 weeks that he'll be out. So we just have to continue to deal with it. Reece James, it sounds like, will be good to go. So I think he played 60 minutes, they said.
Yeah, he didn't come up. He didn't come in with any setbacks either. Mount's injury is minor. I think it's just a little calf strain. So if anything, he could be back for the Bournemouth game. We know Fofana's going to be 3 to 4 weeks, and Broja's just had ACL surgery. So
don't worry about Broja. Don't worry about Broja, guys. Just put him out of your head for a long time.
Yeah, it's just a shame with the injury and everything. I hope it doesn't impact his agility or his speed, because that was a big part of his game. But we have to see. It's just speculation for now.
Yeah. On a bright side, Broja is young enough that you'd hope that when he turns 20, he'll regain his full confidence. What, is he 18 now?
I think he's like 19 or something like that.
Yeah, so about 21, he should go back.
The only positive is ACL surgery has come a long, long, long way from even when I was young. Like, it was at least a year and a half at that point. Now it's closer to 6-7 months. They can get you back from something like that. Generally, they can make the ACL even stronger. Usually they'll use like a cadaver Achilles tendon or something like that to help strengthen it. But again, like you said, Lewis, a big part of his game is that explosiveness, that quickness, that aggression, how it holds up.
I just hope it's not like Callum's.
Yeah. Callum was Achilles. That was different. Achilles.
Yeah, it's still a big injury at a young age, right? So, yeah.
One thing I think that Josh mentioned about coming back from surgery, I have a wild theory. I think we should keep Kante. I feel like Kante, having done this surgery, maybe he's fixed now. Maybe we keep him and we use him sparingly. I don't know.
But what if he's already re-signed a contract agreement with Barca by then?
I think, yeah, fair enough.
Because he's back at February, isn't he?
Yeah, he can't.
So if he isn't, then we can make that judgment call depending on how he goes through the season. If he plays consistently with no injuries and no issues with his on-the-field ability, we could have that conversation.
Yeah,
but I think that's a lot of ifs for right now.
Fair enough. We can't take that risk. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
big up Miguel as well. Go on, Josh. Go on.
No. Read your super chat.
Big up Miguel saying to Chelsea fans complaining that we signed Brighton scouts. They scouted a guy who made a crucial assist in the World Cup final. I've been saying, like, their scouting system's been better than ours over the last 5 years. We shouldn't be turning our noses up. But we'll obviously see depending on who comes in and the impact. It is still another case of speculation. But again, Miguel, appreciate the super chat. You're into the third kit lottery, my friend. Josh, what were you going to say, bro?
I mean, holy shit, I completely lost my train of thought. Who were we just talking about? Oh yeah, Kante. Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, this entire staff hasn't seen him play yet a minute, so I think it'd be hard to, unless you're going off his legacy. Like, it's hard to make a judgment on him. I do think, though, that the club in general are leaning, for him and for Jorginho, are leaning to letting them both go. I don't see Jorginho re-signing either, especially the way he was talking the other day. They were asking about the contracts, and he's being very sort of next question. Like, to me, that means he's probably looking elsewhere, and the club are probably okay with that. So
I think he's.
I got the reverse from that.
Yeah, I think it's the reverse. Because look at his face.
It sounded like they were in negotiation. So, like, obviously, it depends on what phase it's at.
That is a much less difficult negotiation to have than say for what Reece James was, and they got the Reece James stuff done very quick. If they wanted to re-sign Jorginho and give him whatever another 20K raise, that could be done easily, and it could have been done by now for sure. I just don't think they have any inkling to re-sign him. Either one of them.
Maybe he's asking for more, which I hope not. I really hope not. 30K was going to be like my end point. If there's anything more than that, they shouldn't be re-signing him. And I agree as well, like next season should not be a starter. So it all depends on what happens, whatever Chelsea's stance is. If Jorginho leaves, peace. Save for everything. If Jorginho stays, nice. Good rotation in my opinion. But it shouldn't be anything that deep of a discussion. Like whatever happens with him is genuinely whatever happens.
Okay. If you're okay with him to stay, how many years you will add to his contract?
Right.
One or two?
He's 31, right? He's 31 right now.
I could see Chelsea do a 2, maybe max 3, but I wouldn't push for that. If we're talking about realistic extensions, that would probably be the max. But
what
to
if
me,
he's
I do
getting
a
4
1 or
years?
2.
No, absolutely. That would be absolutely absurd.
What if he gets the 4 years?
I'll be more concerned for Bowley than Potter.
Yeah, that would be a bit mad on Bowley's end.
Well, hold on a second. Why Bowley's end? Bowley said he no get nobody renew the contract unless the Pee Wee teacher is the give him okay.
Potter would pick the number of years. I feel like
They both would.
Yeah, they ain't going that way. They ain't going that way. I will resign him, and he decides how many years.
Yeah. Like Potter said.
Do you have a job?
Like Potter gave his thumbs up to extend him, and then he hears like 2 days later it was for 4 years, and he's like, what? Like I meant maybe a year or something. Like you gave him 4 more. No, I think the problem with Jorginho when you're talking about years past a 1-year deal is the things that are already horrible about his game are only going to get worse. Like the speed, the athleticism, the agility. In 3-4 years, I mean, those are already deteriorating factors in his game. Anything more than like a year, those things just get incrementally worse. Like you don't get faster, you don't get more agile, you don't get more athletic as you get older, right? I can tell you that from experience. But if he gets any sort of deal, it's for a year tops for me.
Yeah, but he does wonder. That's the problem. And I don't think there is, you know how he was linked to Juve. With Juve's financial problems now, I don't know where he goes. So he might have to come back with his tail between his legs.
He has a plenty.
I'm sure Maurizio will come in for him.
He will have plenty
the money
options when he's on free.
The money.
Yeah, as a free transfer,
he's not a free agent.
A lot of places.
He ain't going nowhere.
But
on free, he can go.
No one's paying us any amount of money for him. So if he goes, it'll be on the free.
His salary. We paying him handsomely. So maybe he's banking on that sign-on bonus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he can get that with his next club. Just like Christensen and Rudiger.
They want to.
That's why both.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? People make fun of Ronaldo not getting a job anywhere offers.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, Jorginho has a special place. Let him go. Let's see where he'll end up and how much.
Jorginho's going to have like 10 times less of the ego of Ronaldo, for one. He's not going to be demanding to start either. Like if Jorginho was to stay here, he wouldn't be starting either.
Maybe. I mean, all these guys have egos, man. Like Ronaldo.
What level of ego is different? Ronaldo's off.
Why are we talking about Jorginho? For fuck's sake,
yeah, I know that. But listen, that also comes with the level of player, right? So the level for Ronaldo, the level of player is up here, the ego is up here, right? For Jorginho, the level maybe here, but the ego is here as well, right? So, I mean, he's not like he's not asking
for such a small
the level
person.
of the player he was.
Sure.
The ego is still there.
That's
level
always
of the player that he is down here, but the ego is still up there.
Let's not go.
Yeah, Ronaldo ain't the same level he was 5 years ago. Let's not do this.
Well, I will bet the same thing about Jorginho. When was he any kind of level?
Well, What? Our only UEFA Player of the Year? Is this what we're gonna do?
Come on, Alex. It's decent.
Come on, bro.
Decent. Not after that.
I tend to side with Alex on this.
That trophy should have been shared, him and Kante.
Well, listen, that to me, that trophy, this is what happened. Like France, if France make it any further than Italy in that Euros, that award goes to Kante. It's just, but the fact that Italy went further than France, it went to Jorginho. That's the only difference there. There's nobody on this planet could tell me that Jorginho was more valuable than N'Golo Kante in those Champions League runs. Sorry. He can hold his award. It'll go in his cabinet. But I watched those games.
I say both were invaluable to us in their own way.
For Lewis, I thought it's cute for you to put that Jorginho picture holding the UEFA.
Oh, what? This one? This one. Good shout, my friend. Good shout, my friend. But yeah, both were invaluable in that run for their own reasons. We don't need to go into it because it's just going to be a long-ass debate. But
I just can't wait when he finally transitions in his life.
Whoa, pause.
That might be a pause. Yeah, that might be a pause. On midfielders, though, anyone heard anything about?
Yeah, that's what I want to ask, because there's this player from Real Sociedad. Apparently, we scouting this DM Sociedad. I don't know how good it is, but he's Spanish, so it might be techie. I don't know.
He's meant to be the next Busquets replacement for Xavi, but now we've got interest in him. I don't know the seriousness of it. Looks good.
Can't wait for another global warming. If it's a Busquets, can't wait for another global warming to come in. Fucking name, man.
Well, you're not interested.
I'm not interested in registers, man.
Yeah,
I'm just not.
I agree.
Fair enough.
I think
give me a Spanish player that I actually like. Alonso, Xavi Alonso. That's the player. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give me that kind of Spanish player, not a freaking techie player. I don't give a fuck about his techie. I don't want him to be pushed by 13 years old kid in the midfield.
Yeah,
apparently he might be physical. Like, I've genuinely heard two different.
I don't know who the guy is, but
wait, what about Rice? I thought we were getting him too, right? We for sure.
Yeah,
Rice has potential.
Got you.
Saying he's more of a Ratty type player.
More of a summer
that's
move.
what I like. That's what I like. Give me.
This is for January,
what the fuck that AC Milan's manager
Benacer.
play?
Benacer.
No, Gattuso.
Oh, you want Gattuso?
I want Gattuso type of midfielder. That's kind of midfielder I need in the pivot.
What about Enzo? You guys want to take Enzo?
It's all right, man. He's 21 years old.
I will take my mom in this scenario to be playing in the midfield beside what we have in the midfield. That's how desperate I want to change that midfield. But don't just throw me the names because you heard them somewhere.
Yeah.
If we got the really good scouts, by the way, and vegan guy, another fucking new generation. Vegan, what's his name? The sporting director,
Christopher.
Christopher Vivell.
Even Vivell name is like a freaking millennial's name. Like, what the fuck is that name?
It's German.
If we have that kind of guy, let him decide who he wants. I want Lavia. That's my kind of midfielder. I want Gattuso. Facts. Exactly, Couch. But people just froze the names for no freaking reason. Because, you like the player? Okay, let's just throw the name. No, I want to see a combination of midfield. But I don't know. That's why we got Vivell. Viagra guy. What's his name? Fucking Vivell.
Viagra. Oh my fucking God.
His nickname is gonna be Viagra from now on.
He's gotta make us hard. He's gotta make us hard. Otherwise, no point of him here.
I think that's one thing that this not that people don't know it, but one thing that this World Cup really showed was like how important like a dynamic midfield is to a team, a well functioning team. And man, we are far off from that right now with what we currently have. So
Look,
again, I'm all
people-
for talent. Just get me talent. I want talent injection into this team. But some of these guys are 20, 21 years old. You got to watch that too, because those are young
Exactly.
players. You can't just
We
throw
do
them right into the wolves.
we're not gonna get the players over 25. I told you that, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far my expectations are proven. We ain't signing nobody over 25. That's number one. Number two, for me, as a player, as a midfielder, how you say it? As a building midfielder, I need the players of three. If you buy in a player, you need the three criteria in this midfield. You need to be defensively. One of the midfielders needs to be defensively aware. Another player needs to be defensively aware, plus able to carry the ball. And the third midfielder needs to be okay with defensive.
Yeah.
Good and progressing. And the third, master of pass.
Exactly.
Master.
Zakarian.
Those kind of three midfielders with those kind of three, that's how you rate midfield. Just don't throw me the player like Lavia or even though I like him, because the way I think of our midfield, it will actually work. So don't just throw me name, but don't say who you want beside them, because it doesn't help me by you throwing the name, and I don't know who's going to be beside them. If you're going to give me a Rice, if you're going to tell me a Rice, who's going to play beside Rice? If you're going to tell me Mount, I'm going to tell you fuck off. Okay, when you're going to tell me Enzo, who's going to be beside him?
Enzo and Rice, but I don't a three-man midfield yet. Then he's going to stick with the 3-5-2 type thing, you know?
If you want Enzo and Rice, then you're going to need someone with a bit more of an attacking output as the third one.
Yes. You need someone
Enzo, he's not really the passer. He's more like a break-up play, right? Kind of guy? Or like break up.
I want a McAllister from Brighton. But
you see how different, like three people here already different.
No. I agree with you.
You see what I'm saying?
Like, well, Rodrigo, I'll say to that. Like McAllister to me isn't even a midfielder; he's a 10. Like he plays the 10 for Brighton. He plays as an 8 for Argentina because they have Messi, right? So
he plays like Messi.
That good.
I was confusing him with Messi sometimes.
He's okay player. I don't think he's that good though.
Yeah, but you know,
and Enzo is not the formula. Like Enzo is a good kid, but is he?
Yeah, we don't. We don't know that.
I mean,
I still feel the priority.
Let me tell you who else won that title. Remember Rodriguez from what's the name? From Colombia?
Yeah. He actually deserved it.
How is he doing?
I think
he's in the Greek islands right now.
At the time, he went off. He actually played well for Madrid for 2 years, and then Bayern too for a little bit. I mean, he didn't have.
He held the bench for Real Madrid. He was crying on the bench saying Zidane doesn't like me.
Yeah, before that, he was actually balling out for Madrid.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't. He was never the point.
When he was playing under Ancelotti, he was balling.
Ancelotti didn't only been there for 1 year, and then he left to Everton.
No, 1.5
and took him with him.
1.5 because he's
1.5 years.
And then Benitez came in, right? Was he Benitez?
Yeah,
and then,
2015, like February.
Yeah. But you can look at the characteristic of that player. You can see he's a luxury player like that James Rodriguez. But when you look at Enzo, he's an actual hard worker.
He's a hard worker, yeah.
Yeah, Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah.
Put in a tackle.
No global warming midfielders. No recycling midfielders. Now we have a hard working. Where do we have midfielder that hard works for us? I'll give you hints. Lewis, say. What's the name that we have midfielder that hard works for us?
Mount, Gallagher, Havertz.
Havertz?
Well, I mean, Havertz, they say he can play as a midfielder. I've had how many shots? Put him back in the 8. Put him back in the 8. You can get the best out of him.
No, there we
go.
I want, for the position that those guys play, did anybody see, what's his name, the kid? Even though I do think he's decent, Enzo. Did you see him making a good pass? Like, from the back all the way to the like a splitting pass in one time, or without thinking, make a cross-field pass.
He does it for Benfica. He's actually good at plays.
I didn't see him at Benfica. Only thing I saw him is at in World Cup.
Because
For me,
they're all workers. They're all like ants in an ant colony. So they're all working for Messi, who's the queen. So Messi the only that's doing all the switching, all the nice thing. All they have to do is hustle, chest the ball. But when you watch it,
JC25, Ruben, another hard-working
he
midfielder.
does stuff. Ruben, no. Ruben is dead.
He literally carries players on his back.
Yeah.
Opposition players.
Yeah, I think one of the things.
things.
I think one of the things too, Alex, was that I don't know that player exists in football anymore, right? That deep lying passer, that in that mold of like Fabregas, we say all the time, but like that mold of like the deep lying pass, like De Bruyne is very similar to that because he can pick a ball out from almost anywhere, right? But there's not a ton of them.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I want to see midfielder to not his first choice, his first pop up in his head. It's not should be, you know what? Let me go through midfield. Let me run. You know what's running do? It's not as fast as you pass. So when you're running, the defense can set up traps for the offside. So you cannot do those passes when you run. Another thing they can do, they can set up easier to defend. I'm okay with it. This is why I wanted to actually, this is why I actually wanted for those three midfielders to have three different kinds of, profile. But at the same time, there's a big thing. You can find those kind of three players with those kind of profiles, and all of a sudden they don't click with each other. It's a really hard actually job to actually find it and secure it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you can find those players with those kind of taps. Another thing, you have to make them play well together.
They need to develop an understanding together.
They did exactly. So that's my point about under 25, because that's when it's like a job.
They're younger. They got more time together, and yeah.
No. Did anybody had a job before and said, I don't have experience, but I'm willing to learn, and the company will say, that's actually how I got the job in the hospital in the first place. I don't have experience, but I'm willing to learn. And they're like, you know what? We'd rather teach you how we want instead of that you've been trained by somebody else and you come to this job and you're going to do like, oh, in our hospital, we are doing a different way. And they said, you know what? Let's take a shot. Let's learn. Let's work. And they mold me the way they want me. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I think the way Potter got the job in the first place, plus the 8 after 25.
Right. Well, you got to look at like if you're Potter, those are the guys you want, right? Because these senior guys that come, like, that's why I laugh when people are like, man, it'd be great to get Mbappe to Chelsea. Like, you think Mbappe wants to come play for Harry Potter, man? He don't want to fucking play for Harry Potter. He doesn't even know who that guy is. But if you get young guys that haven't established themselves yet, then he can sort of be the one to mold them into the style of play that he likes. These guys who have been at the higher level before, they'll come in and hear this bullshit he's talking about, and they're like, what? That's why I even hear like Jorginho, when they asked Jorginho about Potter, what does he say about him? Oh, he's a nice guy. Like, he seems like he's nice. Like, he's not saying shit about his football. Like, he seems like a nice guy. You know, he looks kind of like an asshole on the outside, but he's really nice and he's got his own idea of football. But like, that's a senior player saying that. Like, that's not like a young kid would probably be like, oh man, he's great. He's giving me an opportunity. I'm learning so much. Like, Jorginho's not learning shit.
Let me answer somebody in the chat. Galib asked me earlier, he understands what I'm talking about, but he didn't get it if I want three midfielders. I do want three midfielders. Not one midfielder that has all those three capabilities. Three midfielders. With one has the some capabilities, another one, and another one. I want three midfielders. Not one. De Jong, his dream move, but no. Like if if De Jong will come, he will be a better with the guy like Enzo. That will be a perfect fit, or even Rice, if I think so. But De Jong will make the other midfielders better. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Devendra's saying Zubimendi is the best profile that we will get at DM. I still think it's a bit early to say on that one. Plus, unrealistic. Literally just signed a new 2-year extension to 2027. So I don't know if we'll go into him.
£51 million.
I don't think it's that unrealistic. Personally,
He's a £51 million release clause.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
like-
Okay, I didn't know.
I don't think it's that unrealistic. Also, as well, because it's like Real Sociedad, from memory, aren't that they're not like a Dortmund or a Napoli. We're trying to like negotiate with them as a ball ache. Like, and as Rodrigo said, like his release clause, if worst comes to worst, it's not exactly the worst, right? And from everything I've heard, I've never seen him, but from everything I've heard from people who've seen him, like I hear good things. So could be a
Is
good
this
one
the
to
kid
get.
whose name came up today?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
But
good things, but the thing is, like, he's not a difficult one to get. He's probably, of all the names we've heard mentioned, he's the easiest guy to get. Of every single guy we've heard mentioned, he's the easiest guy to get.
You know,
He's
Scott,
easier than
and I will
Rice,
be
easier
happy.
than De Jong, easier than Enzo, easier than Bellingham. He's easier than all of them to get.
And I will be happy about it. Nobody will actually put the pressure on him and let him do this job. You see what I'm saying? Like, get me somebody that I don't know. Because if I know, that doesn't mean that's scouting. If I know the name of the player, fuck you, that's not scouting. That's Google.
I noticed it now. Like now we're starting to look at names that are not that big anymore, and it's really good. Like
Because we actually have a scouting system now. That's because we actually have a scouting
Yeah, we
system.
got Viagra as a football director.
Yeah.
And it's not
Before
just
he came
going and
in.
signing the easy guys. It's not going and signing the easy guys or the guys who were good like 3 years ago that you think would be good now.
I'll will go for De Jong though.
Finally, we're going for those.
De Jong
Like,
would be-
coming out.
De Jong would be amazing, but the thing is, even with players like De Jong, what is good for players like De Jong is even though De Jong's a big name, you can still do a level of scouting on him because you can look at how is he going to work in your system. With a guy like Saul, we did no scouting because you could tell that even though he was in bad form at the time, but he was a good player, he didn't fit how we wanted to play. He was never going to be the Jorginho replacement because he never has been in his whole career the Jorginho type of player.
Yeah.
So that was scouting from like,
it's
yeah,
funny
he's
that
well known.
people think that he's defensive midfielder. It's funny.
It's not even defensive. It's not even defensive. It's he always, when he played in the pivot at Atletico, he was either next to Partey or next to Koke. Both of whom would be the guy who were deeper. He was never the deepest of the two. So I don't understand why anyone at the club thought he could be the deeper of the two midfielders.
If you will ask me
scouting. It's shit profiling.
If I will, if my midfield right now, if I could have assigned somebody, I don't care about the position where Rice is and what's his name?
Enzo.
So for me, it's gonna be Lavia. Don't care about the second one either. What's his name? This is what I want. Lavia, the Russian kid, and De Jong. That's the dream. But you can replace De Jong with Russian kid can do what De Jong does in offensive zone. So if De Jong doesn't work, get me somebody that actually can carry the ball physical enough to help defensive midfielder to play in two pivot or how you say it, to progress the ball better. And at that point, so for me, it could be Lavia, Rice, and that Russian kid. You see what I'm saying? Give me a combination of three to fulfill that midfield one. I'm not talking about like Couch said on earlier in the chat that we need to find the mold of best three.
We need different.
We need three midfielders.
It's not even just about like profiles. In terms of just bodies at the club, we need three midfielders, or at least two, because I'm sorry, the midfielders we've got right now are either broken in terms of mentally, broken in terms of physically, or just not good enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but like guys like Gallagher and guys like Loftus-Cheek, they are like, they might be nice guys, but they're not. They haven't got a future. They got a future. I'm sorry.
No.
They ain't got a future.
I'm sorry.
Like if we're getting,
but Gallagher can prove. Gallagher is exactly going to be mold the way Potter wants.
If we're looking at guys like Enzo and Bellingham, and we're looking at De Jong and we're looking at Lavia, I'm sorry, Gallagher's not on that level, and he'll be the guy. He'll be the guy that drops out. It will be him, or it will be Loftus-Cheek. Like these will be the guys that fall away because our squad improves.
Nobody wants to admit it, but
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm actually saying that the point what I'm trying to make, if you bring in under 25 midfield, Gallagher is probably the only one that can actually be molded into something because he's the youngest of all of them. Out of Ruben, out of Mount, out of Kai Havertz, out of Kante, out of Jorginho. He can be trained the way Harry Potter wants him.
He needs to develop a first touch first, then he can be developed.
Yeah,
So
plus,
you're saying,
this
hold
is
on a
just
second.
hindsight.
Hold on a second. How old is Enzo?
21.
21. How old is what's his name?
Gallagher,
Gallagher.
21, I
22.
think. Is he 22?
I think he's 22.
He's 21, 22. Something in the same. They're basically in the same.
Yeah, but
age
you're
range.
assuming the talent and potential is equal, which is most of the time it's not.
Gallagher is 22.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like Gallagher had a really, really strong season at Palace last year. If he was a Palace player, how much do you think he would be in the summer?
I mean, you say he had a strong season. He had a strong half a season.
Well, he won their Player of the Season.
No.
I mean, he won their Player of the Year award.
That's not even funny. He player of the season for 3 clubs before Davo won.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
no. You know.
I agree with you, Alex. I agree. I like him.
You know what Scott pisses me off about? One kid can be playing for Portugal for 1 season and a half, and he can be best
Because I've
fucker
seen
in the
more
world.
from him.
No hope.
I've seen
you
more
watch
from him.
Okay.
Bro, right.
But you don't rate about kids that played 3 players of the season.
Regardless of anything, right? Like I said, regardless of anything, regardless of talent level or whatever, there's a few things that you need to be able to have, especially in the system we're playing. Number 1 is a first touch. Number 2 is be able to complete passes consistently. Neither of which Gallagher can do. He did not show that last year either. Go and look at how he did it under Vieira. Passing was at times his worst attribute. So I'm not talking just about like, just talent and all because this, that, and he plays in Portugal. I'm talking about how he fits in the system. Gallagher's fundamentals for the way we want to play in the system are shit. They're garbage.
Oh, please, because I don't know how we're gonna play.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the system, Scott.
Hold on a second.
It's mainly
No.
position.
Let's see.
Fuck me.
Let's see how we want to tell me, because as a matter of fact, everybody I know that supports Chelsea, nobody has a fucking clue what kind of system or how we play with Harry Potter. So please me breaking news. I want to know how.
I feel like before the World Cup, we were just playing 3 at the back pretty much every game. And then all he's done since the World Cup is play with 4 at the back. All the training stuff, all the scrimmages, everything is 4-3-3. We haven't seen that once this season, really. Maybe glimpses of it, but nothing consistently. So, I'm assuming 4-3-3 is his idea. But
nobody wants to admit it.
Let me ask you this. Who would you rather give game time in the midfield to, Carney or Gallagher?
Both. Gallagher's playing on a wing anyways.
No, that's not my question. In the midfield, who would you rather give game time to, Gallagher or to Carney?
I told you both.
In the midfield, Carney.
The number of midfielders we're getting in, and I don't really see that many leaving in terms of I don't think Jorginho leaves personally. Kante probably does. I don't see Kovacic leaving. So where's the game time coming for both of them? It's one or the other, and Carney's better. Carney's got the better potential. I've seen better things from Carney, and I'd rather play him. Then where do you play Gallagher? Where does he get the game time that he needs to develop and
let
come
me
into
say
all-round
it,
midfield you think he's going to become?
I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one. When
Or
Kovacic goes,
or he does what Mount does and plays on the wing.
Or when Kova's going on his sabbatical for 3 weeks injury list, Wolf Kante goes on sabbatical for a couple of months of his injury list. That's when you play Gallagher, and that's when you play Carney.
So we have no actual quality. We replace quality with much inferior players. That's a very logical,
Yeah, we have no.
Hold on a second. Mila, close the door. Hold on a second. So, who's the quality for quality in our midfield there, Kai?
Is Gallagher as good as Kovacic or Kante on that level? Or even
I'm
Jorginho?
sorry. I'm not going about the quality. They hurt. They injured.
Yes.
I don't care how good they are. At the moment,
Exactly.
they
But
injured.
that's not my point. That's not my point. That
Your
doesn't
point
mean that
is-
doesn't mean we should have like our second fiddle should be 3 or 4 like levels below the level of
Right. I think that's what he's saying. It's like once those guys are out, the level to replaces them is so far off the mark. And I agree. I think our level of depth is really shitty. Like not that we don't have depth, the quality of our depth is
Josh,
horrible.
I completely agree with you. My point at the very start of this was, so when you replace that with quality depth by going and signing the 2 or 3 midfielders Alex wants, cool, they get pushed even further down the list. So now all of a sudden, because for me personally, I want the likes of Kovacic and Jorginho to stay, not to be playing all the time, but for the new guys to come in to help acclimatize them to the club and the situation, because they'll be able to do that with their age and experience much easier than guys like Gallagher will, than guys like Mount will. For me personally, that's just how it tends to work in football. Then if they're staying, so you've got a midfield of 2 or 3 new guys, Kovacic, Jorginho, Loftus-Cheek potentially, Mount because people want him to play there. You've then got Gallagher, Carney. That's 9 fucking midfielders for at max 3 positions, maybe 4 if we play 4 in the midfield. How the fuck are you getting game time for all these guys? How the fuck are you getting
we
game
have so
time?
many midfielders.
Nobody wants
Listen,
to-
Scott, I'm actually don't disagree with you. I don't think Gallagher is the final push for it. I don't. That's why I think we need to sign players that starters and let go of the players that injury prone and over the age. The only
But then we-
player in the midfield I will actually okay to keep it. Only one of them. Out of all 3, all of them. It's either Kante to extend the contract or Kova. That's the only 2 between them. I don't care which one. Give me one of those. The rest of
Kante
them
doesn't play, man.
is Kovacic play.
Much more than Kante. Kante haven't been touched the pitch for 2 fucking seasons. Man.
Do you want to make a debate which one is better,
Kante
Kante or
played one
Kovacic?
game.
when they fit?
Nobody is disagreeing with you with that
Hasn't
point. I'm
Kante
just
played one
thinking
game this
Gallagher is not
season?
even close to this level.
3 games, Scott. 3
Oh,
games.
3 games.
Can
My
no.
apologies.
Can you imagine comparing 30 years old to 21-year-old?
Yeah, but do we really have that fucking time to wait for a 21-year-old to become a 26-year-old based
No,
on
you can.
like, we've seen
Kai, you can.
No,
You
Scott,
100%
let me finish.
can.
Let me finish my point, and you would understand it. People here for the last 3 fucking seasons told me to wait on Mount. Tell me, for the last 3 seasons, where did he improve exactly on his game? And it's the same fucking thing. We're just hopeful that these guys will be world class, and I'm tired of it. I want reassurance that because we're slowly going down that fucking rabbit hole of giving everybody time, and in the end, we the only ones that suffer for it is the fucking club, man. And that's my issue with signing all young players.
Let me tell
We need
you
players
the
that
one
start
quick
to
thing.
think. So then
one quick thing, Kai.
have the time to develop themselves.
Look,
Because we can't just have a whole midfield of kids, though. It's
Let
not
me
even
tell
that.
you, the quickest
not
way.
even-
No, Scott. Listen, the quickest way for Harry Potter to succeed, it's to give him young kids. If you're gonna give him established players, he ain't doing shit.
I completely agree.
In midfield,
Anywhere on
highly
the field.
disagree, man.
Midfield,
if you give him all
need a
kids,
mix.
I
Why
think there
will
needs to be a bit of
exactly.
experience
Scott,
in it.
you need a
I say you need a mix of both. That the thing for me with it all is
In the
when I
right
go back
world,
to-
yes. But him,
it's a
no.
mix of both. But the thing,
No. I think he will make exception in the back. In the defense, he will be okay with the experience. Not in the midfield, and
I
definitely
think
not
he
in
will
the
in the
forward
midfield.
line.
He had experience in the midfield last year at Brighton. He had a mix. Like he had the likes of Caicedo and he had the likes of like Murder who came through.
Yeah.
But then he
And I
also-
can tell
he
you
also
that
had-
that's not true.
He also had
and I-
growth. He also had Lallana. Like he also had Bissouma who had been there a long time. Like he had a mix. He didn't just have kids. He had a mix. Like even in midfield, he had a mix. He had
Scott,
Solly
they play a
March
lot less games than us as well. That people
Like,
don't
he
put
had
into
much-
consideration as
he
well,
had
right?
no-
They don't play as many games as us as well. We play Champions
First
League
of all,
or whatever European competition we're gonna play next
No,
season.
no,
But we
first
play
of
that.
all,
We play FA
Kai,
Cups.
Kai, I agree with you. That's when you need the players like Gallagher, because we play in so many competitions. But that's not the point, Scott.
Yeah, but I want to win
understand
those
what-
competitions. I don't want to just play in them, man. And play with Gallagher's are not gonna
Well,
help you with that. I'm
Alex,
sorry.
can I
I just don't think Gallagher is that kind of player, man.
Alex,
He's
can I
not on that
summarize
fucking
what
caliber.
I think you're saying? Can I summarize it? That when you
go
commit to a
ahead.
guy like Potter, you're committing to a young team. Because
Mm-hmm.
guys who are veteran and who have been around and have played for the top coaches, they're not going to mesh well with this guy, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Aubameyang, look at the situation like, oh fuck, it's Arteta again.
Aubameyang doesn't get game time. He doesn't really get game. But that's not my point, though.
He does.
You need you need a mix. You need a mix of them. You can't just have a bunch of kids who are not experienced to play football together just for the sake of it. Football is, you can't just have football as like a fucking like just a free throw and just throw shit and hope for it to stick. It's not gonna happen, man. Even the best clubs in the world have a mix. And when I say young, when I say experienced player, I don't mean.
Do you
29,
understand
28
what
year
in
olds.
general
Let me finish
means?
Alex, for fuck's sake, bro. Let me finish, man. I swear to you, you will start listening to me more when I finish. I'm not saying like we need experienced players who are 27, 28, 29. I'm saying 25. Players who are kind of young but still have the experience. They know what they're doing. But if you have 21-year-olds, they're still going to make those crucial mistakes that are going to cost us.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I'll say.
Please, Josh, tell this moron that thinks that I was disagreeing with him. I actually told you.
No, but you say No, where I disagree with you, and you were saying like that we should get Gallagher. He's going to play the games that Kova and Kante are not going to be able to play because they're injured, and that's what I argue with you. That
I was talking about this season. Now.
But even this season, we still need midfielder who are experienced now. I'm not relying on Gallagher for the next of the season. For the rest of the season, I'm not going to do that.
Are you think that I'm going to say no for Chelsea to sign midfielder in January, and I will be upset that Gallagher is not going to have a good
Alex,
time?
Now you're switching your words. You said that you want us to have a team of youngsters because that's the only way that that Potter will work out, which I don't agree with because I think he needs a team of mixture of both.
No. That's when I said, and you weren't here, and that's why Josh has actually said it right. 25. That's what I'm looking for. You're not signing players over 25. Do you understand that?
Yes, but that's
from now on, when you're talking to me and you say that I said and I change your words, remember that when I said 25, I didn't say I want 21 years old.
Yes, but these are the guys that should be like also on the fringes, not like we should have one or two, three youth players. Not we can't have as many youth players as we have now.
And when I said 20,
and it shows in the league table
25,
as well. Man.
When I said 25, I meant 21 Gallagher, not to be a starter in that 25 bracket. I said Gallagher could be playing in the cup games when we already have a good starting midfield. That's what I said.
You said
Josh,
if
please tell him. Is that what I said, Josh?
Yeah.
No, you can say Josh, whatever. I was here, bro. I've heard what you said. You said when Kova.
Well, take the dick out of your ears and listen better to me next time.
Hey man, I have high-end fucking headphones, man. I heard you perfectly. You said if these guys get injured, you would replace them with Gallagher. Gallagher would get game time, which is something that I have a massive issue with because we've seen what happens to us.
I meant this season. We're talking about this season.
Yeah, but either way, this season we still need to fucking sign in January. What's the point of January?
Buy somebody else.
I mean, for this season, you're gonna see a couple of players in January, but like we're not building a new squad in January.
What I will say is like an overall all of this.
He ain't looking like Romario. Don't say shit like that. He ain't looking like Romario. Nothing.
What I will say, regardless, like all of this, it was kind of like my overall point to begin with is like when it comes to some of these fringe players, these squad players, I don't get too attached to them because like when we improve. Just by necessity, some of these guys are gone. Like if we improve like in attack, the guys like Ziyech, Pulisic, potentially, like these guys are not staying if we improve in attack. Not unless they're comfortable playing like 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there, like or they're going to step their game up, which I'm yet to see as of yet. It's same in the midfield, whether that's Loftus-Cheek, whether that's Gallagher, whether that's even Kante or Kovacic or any of these guys. They can't step their game up or they can't, be team players and be squad players. Hey, fuck off. Like respectfully, leave. Because at the end of the day, we need to improve, and just unfortunately, it's the natural process of life, survival of the fittest. If someone better than you takes over from you, and you can't keep up, or you can't find a way to fit in, you're done. You will leave.
Exactly. Nobody wants to admit it, but our attack is bad partly because of our midfield, honestly, and
I disagree with that. I personally disagree with that.
I think you said it right. It's partially.
I see it.
I'm not going to lie. Right. I think it's like 80-20, like 20% midfield, 80% attack. Like when I'm seeing like obviously international football is different to club football, but when I'm seeing certain things in this World Cup where I'm seeing good midfields, like played well, and then the attack they're dealing with is still garbage. Like, bro, this attack is shit mostly because this attack is just shit. And it is incoherent and it doesn't match.
I think with a better
Scott,
midfield, they get more opportunities, but it still doesn't change.
If you look at the Croatia,
it's like giving more opportunities to like.
If they have an attack, they would have got to the finals. In my opinion,
I was going to say, I watched a Morocco midfield who I'm not going to say is the best of the best, but was competent and worked well, and they're let down by dumbass strikers and dumbass attacking plays. Spain was the same thing. Croatia, the same thing. All these teams have quality midfields or good midfields that mesh, and their attack is dead, so they just failed.
But Scott, we don't even create it enough to like make that argument. To like,
we actually
I've seen enough of some of these attackers. I'm sorry, I've seen enough of some of these attackers that I can tell that like even if you give them more chances, like guys like Aubameyang, fair enough with more chances, I think he will score more goals. Same with Sterling. Havertz. Sorry, no. Pulisic is one I'm on the fence about. Ziyech, I'm kind of done with. Like Mount, I'm done with in attack. I'm sorry, no. Like,
some of these attackers we're relying on to be that creative outlet, and that's the problem.
Fact that I'm like 3 attackers at best, maybe at worst 2, that I can rely if we create more chances to actually improve. That says everything.
Listen to this, guy. I understand that attackers is at fault, but I do have more percentage on the midfield than you because, first of all, managers play midfielders in attack. That's number one problem. Why are managers playing? Why are managers putting midfielders in attack in the first place? Exactly. So we have a bad midfield to help them, and then there's another midfielders that cannot finish the job for the forwards.
I'll tell you what, Lampard's the one who fucking started it. Like literally, no one was putting Mount in attack until this Belen started putting him at left wing.
Look! It's funny. What if we had Aubameyang, Pulisic, and what's his name, and Sterling on the front? Do you think
that's a front three that's a front three that theoretically on paper can create? I'm not even joking. You've got 2 1v1 wingers, one of which who is actually also creative. The other one can create space for everyone else.
Then you will see how bad as midfield is on creating if those 3 will start. But the problem starts
hindsight again.
Those 3 in starting.
They're not starting because we have a virus.
They might against Bournemouth. That might be the starting 3 against Bournemouth. So we'll have to see what happens then.
Yeah,
God willing.
God has given us a sign. God has given us a sign, man.
Please.
Come on, man. It's a calf injury. He's going to be back.
They definitely work on it. Like the attack needs a midfield to do a certain bit of creating for them, a certain bit of ball progression for them. Like they do. You can't just put it all on the attack. Like it can't be like we'll give you the ball at midfield and you just have to do everything from there. Like it does require a certain bit of work from both departments of the field.
This is they're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper and they pass it to the goalkeeper. What's the midfield can do, bro?
Let me ask anybody, what midfielders could do better for the forwards to be more successful?
Are we talking names? Are we talking
names? In general.
Like I think
that's so nice for me to
as well. If we're just picking names at like Erdegaard in this team would do better for their
What midfielders do best way for the forward lines?
Like attributes?
Any kinds of attributes. What kind of attributes midfield can do? No, when you're looking at the mid, English is not my first language, so please try. I'm trying to ask the question properly so you will understand what I'm trying to say. What is forward line need from the midfield to help them?
Creating space, breaking lines, breaking the press to create more space to make a through ball.
Quicker passes as well.
Yeah, quicker passes. A varied range of passing as well, so it doesn't become predictable and stale.
But also, like I'm gonna counter this. Like if you
no.
Like,
what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna
answer you.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna answer you. If you look at the World Cup, and if you look at the 2 players that always play for us, and the way they are on the ball, you would understand Chelsea. One of Chelsea's biggest problems. We have 2 players who rely on them, who are key players, who are not very good on the ball. They're not very swift with their decision makings, and they take too long. And by the time they fucking make a decision, the defensive line is already organized in every transition play that we make. So that's our biggest issue. I don't think our issue is only. The issue is we at this fucking club we overhype trash fucking players that 10 or 5 years ago wouldn't even start in either our midfield or in our attack. That's our biggest issue, man.
Look, Kovacic and Pulisic both tied for most chance creations in the World Cup. They both had 9 chance creations.
This is exactly, you nailed it. And Scott, when you said it, the best way midfield can help the forward line, it's to get the ball to the forward line so the defense doesn't have the time to restructure themselves, right? That's how it needs to be played to help the forwards. Unless you count on the midfield to slowly progress the ball, and then you rely on creativity on the outsiders like Pulisic and Sterling's. You see what I'm saying? Man City does not break a line. They strategically go and push unless they need to break, like how you said, counter-attacking style. You see what I'm saying? We, as Chelsea team, we cannot do that. We slowly progress, but we have bumps that cannot beat one-on-one players up front. Do you see what I'm saying? So if we had the midfield that can quicker do passes forward, it will help our line. But we do not have that midfield. That's why I'm saying that we have a problem with a forward somehow based on a midfield. I love Kova. Kova is really good, but he will not run faster than the pass. Not a chance.
Yeah, but if he had players around him, he would be passing a lot more.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And that's why I'm saying in the midfield.
Yeah, but Alex, like, I'm gonna go ahead into Mount, and I know people are gonna say I have an agenda and blah blah.
No, you're right. You're right.
But one of the main
does not
issues
take
with
a
me
good
is
position
this
as a
team.
forward.
When this guy gets a ball, he ruins our structure in midfield and he ruins our structure in attack. He takes 3 or 4 seconds just to pass the ball. And for me, that's one of the biggest issues at Chelsea. For me, it
that's
annoys me,
the problem. That's the problem with midfielder playing too high in offensive, because he still thinks like a midfielder. He thinks that he needs to have a touch. He thinks that he needs to go look at wide. Midfielders do that. Attackers don't. Do you understand that? That's what I mean when I'm saying that the midfielders do too slow. Put him back in the midfield. Let him do his job.
Yeah, but I don't think it's fair to blame it on Kova if everybody around him is not that type of midfielder or isn't
I'm
of that
not
quality.
blaming on Kova, man. I just use
Bro,
Kova because
Alex, I'm not saying it on you. I'm not saying it
everybody
you.
will say that
I'm not saying it on you deliberately. I'm saying it to our fans in general. They blame Kova for everything. But we've seen in this World Cup what Kova can do when he has two competent defensive midfield and a competent midfield around him.
Look, tell me about it. He has Modric, one of the GOATs in the midfield.
Yes, but
I understand that. We have bumps.
We do have bumps. I hate all of them, man. Like you're singing to the wrong choir.
We actually have a bound. That's what I said. Either Kova or Kante. I want the extension on the contract. I don't care about the rest of them. I don't. Even Blum Mount can go. Even Real Mount can go.
Bro,
I
that's
don't
the time
care.
we can build, man. If that guy leaves, Chelsea can build.
What I'm saying is, Kova has good attributes to his
Take care,
game.
Jay.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
CJ.
Oh, big up, Josh. Big up, Josh.
Yeah, big up, guys.
Kova has
what is this? Everybody's falling out, man.
Kova has attributes on that field that nobody else has. That's why he's the one that actually links best with anybody else. Because I don't like how Jorginho plays with Kante. I don't. Kante does not understand Jorginho. Kante does not look for doesn't look for Jorginho to pass it. You know what I'm saying? Kante does not make available for him to be beside Jorginho. Kova can. Kova knows how Jorginho plays. If Jorginho cannot find Kova, he passes to Thiago Silva. That's how it is.
Did you guys think about that guy,
you need the
guy from
midfielder.
Sociedad?
What?
The guy from Sociedad, the midfielder. Did you guys talk about him?
A little bit.
Zubimendi. Well, we spoke about it for a bit, but what's your thoughts on him, bro?
He'd be perfect for Chelsea, actually, man. And he's not. He's
By
not.
the way,
He's not a regista, man. I don't know why people think he's a regista. He's not, man. He's not.
No,
He's
every
not even
time.
close to a regista. He's a very physical guy.
It's
He's
not a
not a regista,
regista. Somebody said that Xavi from Barcelona won it, and the minute
Yeah,
they
it's a
say
Busquets
that,
replacement.
yeah, the Busquets.
yeah,
The
okay.
minute that they say
No,
that,
it's
I
not
said I don't want global warming. Another global warming.
He's not like Busquets. He has
Artur,
he has really.
what did
If
you
you look
want
at
to
the
ask me?
stats, he has good through balls. He's defensively solid.
I was gonna
He's good
say,
on the
Alex.
ball. Doesn't lose it that easily. He's a
Do
good player, man.
you know any other midfielders in Europe that can forward passes a lot more than Jorginho?
My
You can probably
mom.
find some. You can definitely find them. The problem is you can probably find a lot. It's about finding guys that play through balls, or play forward balls to a consistent level. Because for example, I'm sure Mount plays more forward passes than Jorginho, but he over fucking hits most of them, and most of them go to the other team, which I don't want. So I couldn't give a shit how many he plays. Like, it's the same with
Look.
Bruno Fernandes. It's the same often with Ziyech. That's the problem. Is you got to find someone who, yes, does it a lot or does it more than Jorginho, but does it like to a consistent level where they're hitting like between 80-90% pass accuracy with them. They're not hitting 70s and misplacing most of them.
For me, Fatur is different. I don't. People think that I don't want what's his face, Jorginho, to be because he's forward passing. I actually upset that I know that he can pass, but he doesn't. He done it before. I'm not saying he has to hit the ball all the way from defensive line all the way to the goal line. That's not what I'm talking about. You can pass it wide. It's not a problem. My problem is if he's defensive. That's it. That's no other problem with Jorginho. The one best thing that we have to look at it, if we replace in Jorginho's position, and my greatest ever defensive midfielder is Mikel. Mikel was always available for his back line. That's the number one defensive midfield's job. Be physical enough to hold the ball and to be available. If you especially playing off the back, it's to be available for those four as an exit ramp. The back four line, looking at defensive midfielder, the sitting defensive midfielder, always available. I don't want them to walk around and say, hey, I'm here. I don't want my defensive players to cross the field to defensive mid on the other side. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
As it works, you run into your defensive line. Jorginho does that brilliantly. The problem is with Jorginho, if our bums up top do not hold the ball, Jorginho gets exposed. That's the
I have
problem.
a question to you guys regardless of this. Would you take Rice at Chelsea?
Yes.
Yeah.
It depends.
Honestly,
It really
open-
depends. Like,
I'm open to
I'm
the
just-
idea.
Yeah, but not as a
If it's a
replacement for
midfield-
Jorginho.
it's not just on price. It's not just on price. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sold on him at all. Like, I'm not sold
Scott,
on.
is a replacement for Jorginho? No.
Yeah,
It's
like
not
I'm just.
that.
He'd be the
For
Kante
me-
replacement. He'd be the Kante replacement in this.
I
team.
would take
He
him. I
is.
would take him if it's not included in him and Mount playing the same midfield, because I just think that's a horrible duo.
No, but the problem. Do you know what the thing is, Kai? I've said this before. If we're getting Rice, for me, I need to see him in a double pivot, which means, realistically
exactly.
speaking, we're either playing a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-2 or a 4-2-3-1. None of the formations I've just mentioned to you should be featuring Mount, because that either means he's playing on the wing or as a number 10, which neither work. He's an 8. So you physically can't play him, and unless you're playing a 4-3-3,
Rice
you can't play
with
him and Mount
Jorginho
together.
will actually be okay.
What, Rice and
Rice
Jorginho?
will-
Yeah, that would work.
In a double
That would
pivot.
work. But there is no way you can work a midfield that has Mount and Rice in it without playing a 4-3-3. And I'm sorry, I do not trust Rice as a lone DM. He didn't
Lone
convince
DM,
me in the
exactly.
World Cup. I'm not convinced by when he's done it the few times at West Ham. I'm not convinced. I'm just not
Well,
convinced.
You know, the thing with me
Go
is I don't rate Rice that highly, but if we get it for a good price, I don't mind him as a depth, as long as it doesn't include Mount being on part of the team. Because I think if we waste 3 positions on these 2 guys, I think our midfield is just going to be absolutely trash, either by creativity or by defense.
Texas Blue, you don't know who's Mikel was 2.0 if you don't know.
No, he's not.
If
Rice
he-
is not a Miguel 2.0.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God!
know.
Please don't do
That's
that.
too much.
Please.
That's too much.
That's
No,
that's
I
just
wouldn't call that.
insult
Good
to
shout.
Mikel. By the way,
considering
Mikel,
one was ended up becoming a natural DM and one isn't a natural DM. He's more of a box-to-box guy. That doesn't really work. Like he's not Mikel 2.0 by default.
For the people that don't understand that double pivot versus single pivot, what I said out of defensive midfielder, if you are sitting one, you have to make those back side to side running to be available to all of 4 defenders. With the double pivot, you don't have to cross all the way. So, for example, the reason why I don't think Rice is as good as a sitting, he can do it. If we're attacking and he stays back, he can do that. The problem is when we are deep in the line and as we building up, for example, a ball is on the right side and he's on the left side. He needs to run all the way on our side to get himself to be available. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works with the single pivot player. So to avoid that, teams using double pivot will transform to 8s that has a capability of defensive awareness. That's what Rice is. He's not a single player. He's a box to box, but has ability to think, don't get caught in the possession up top. That's why Rice is good at what he does, because him and the other guy are doing a job together, not one. As Rice is a single, he does not have the lungs or the brain to be available for all four defensive zones.
And that's the thing for me. Everything Alex has just said there, I bang on about it all the time. People are going to get sick of me saying it. But
Mitchie comment up.
Like, Mount stands can fuck themselves. Anyway, as I was saying, like the biggest thing with me with Rice, and again I saw it in this fucking World Cup, is this man does not show himself for the ball. Like he doesn't make himself available. It's like this is the thing. Defensively, I cannot say anything wrong with Rice. Like defensively, he's quality. Like most of the time, he'll have like some of the fuck ups, like he did it in the Iran game, sorry, and stuff like that. But like defensively, I can't say anything bad. It's in possession in terms of in build up. Like he offers nothing. Like unless he's getting the ball in an area where he can hit a long diagonal, I'm sorry, he's offering nothing. And people can bring up the stats from like 2 years ago. Cool, I don't give a fuck. Because guess what? The stats rate Kai really highly. Like go and look at Kai's stats. Like they really like Kai in terms of the stats. But guess what? On the eye test, he's shit. So like he doesn't offer anything in terms of like build up. He doesn't show for the ball, and it really annoys me.
Scott, let me paint you the pictures if you think Rice is a single pivot and the Mount plays beside him.
Oh,
so, for example,
no,
I know, but let me draw the picture for the guys that think that
somebody
would
play
be
the Europa
work.
League anthem, man.
So
that's
for example,
that's what you talk about Europa, bro. That's
so no. Here's how it works. For example, we're going to back to the scenario before. For example, hold on. My daughter's bouncing on my son like I have a camera in front of me, so I keep an eye on kids. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, for example, those four in the back, right? Scenario. And the Rice is on the left side of the field, and he plays single pivot, and the ball is on the right side. Rice does not have time to go on all the way across. You do not want defender to pass air ball all the way on the left side. Either he goes back to the defense and they reach Rice in this position, or another midfielder is going to be available. And I'll give you a scenario. If the under pressure, Fofana and James playing between each other ball, and Rice is on our side of the field beside Cucurella, and he cannot get back, the other midfielder will be Mount that drops and tries to hold the ball if the pressure is on him.
Which he can't do. And this is the thing, and this is another reason why I say, and this is not to you, Alex.
Do you see the single pivot problem with Rice?
It's not even just that though. It's as someone's pointed out in the chat, it's about fit, and it's about Rice could maybe work in a single pivot depending on if every other element of the team works.
Not 48 games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Like as I said earlier, him and Mount in the midfield do not work because of the same reasons you mentioned, and because of the reasons I mentioned about Mount is then out of position. Also, this is the reason why people like me and Kai and others rate Kovacic, regardless of if there's certain things he lacks. Because number one, he'll always be showing for the ball, always. Number two, even under pressure, he can get out of it. People do not understand how massive of a an attribute that has. Even Jorginho, when he was like on form, had it. You remember those little times where he used to do the little like 1-2 like back heel touches where he'd get out of like when he was absolutely on form, like during that Champions League run. Like that's what Kovacic has in spades, and that's such a massive attribute to have. When teams put you under pressure, that you can one quick 1-2 movement and you're out of that pressure. You take 2 or 3 players out of the game. All of a sudden, number one, everyone else has space. Number two, the opposition team is scrambling because they have to kind of like find who's going to pick up what player because they've lost 2 or 3 players from just one move. Like that's why players like De Jong are so good. That's why like other players that like are like that are so good because they can take out 1 or 2 players from just one movement. It's why in attack the players like Leao, the players like Mbappe are good. Where all of a sudden 1 or 2 moves, you've taken 2 defenders out of the game.
You can look. I can tell you that it could work. I could prove you wrong that the Rice could play a single pivot. I could, but it's gonna be based on who plays beside him, like Scott said. Another thing it could be if we approach the game a different way. That means that Rice does not go to all the way wide positions and makes the either other midfielders go drop deep or the left backs come closer. That's the only way you can sustain, just like Mikel did when he was at Chelsea. Because Ashley Cole was one of the best left backs in the world at the time. And he was always okay with open spaces too. People forget that Ashley Cole is how good he was. Plus, Mikel had the midfield. I saw Big Ron say a name that he rates those midfielders better. Do you put Lampard in Mikel's position? Who's better in Mikel's position in the defensive mid? Lampard, Ballack, or Mikel? Who would you put there? I will put Mikel anytime. Technically, you see what I'm saying? Because it's a different kinds of position and different kinds of jobs. But what I did like about Mikel, he was creative. He's number 10 for Nigeria. He's the one that nutmegged, what's his name? Messi and the cup, whatever it is, and scored in no, it wasn't the World Cup. It was
Confederations.
Either Confederations or that. Yeah, Confederation Cup. He is creative enough, but he actually knew what job he can do. If Rice can understand what job he can do and he can transform from what we've seen, we will all say Rice is the GOAT.
I think as you said, the thing is as well, if we
we knew that.
If you had a midfield 3, for example, right, of Rice as the single DM and you had like Enzo and Cover above, like ahead of him, cool, I'm accepting that as Rice can work in that. Because what I know is even if Rice at times, like you said, is going to get caught out of position in terms of in build-up where he's on the wrong side and like the defenders need an option, one of Enzo or Cover is going to drop to receive that ball and then they can get themselves out of pressure from either a long pass from Enzo or Cover's probably going to beat a couple of players. But it's like if you're playing him with like a Kante or a Mount or a Gallagher, these guys are not getting themselves out of pressure, B, you're not showing for the ball in the right areas, so then you're going to put yourself under more pressure. Like Rice in a single pivot probably can work. Number one, if he just fixes this thing of like stop hiding when we're in build up, go for the ball and show for it and ask for it, demand it, fucking demand it, because if you've got confidence in your ball playing ability and in yourself, you should be demanding that ball all the time. If you've got confidence in yourself, if you don't, it shows you don't have confidence in yourself in pressure situations or in pressure areas, which if you don't have confidence in yourself, that's a big red flag for me. Or if you have the right team around him, if you have the right players around him, it can probably work because you can like get other players to show for the ball and build up, and he can just do the defensive stuff. Yeah. But like, then you're back to like you have to make allowances for this player to get the best out of him. So, or you have to like make sure you're going to coach him to the best, where you're going to drill into this idea of you have to pick the ball up in the right areas. Like, you go back to a conversation of like, this is another player we've got to make allowances for, and then it's you're back to the same point of like, why are we having to make allowances for this player, and why don't we just get a player we don't have to make allowances for? And this is why I'm not fully sold on Rice. It's just why I'm not fully sold on him.
Nietzsche boy, it's that's the
Mount
problem.
plays with him, that's why.
Sorry. Because he's the only reason for us winning. Like, is he meant to carry the whole fucking team? This
No,
is what
that's
Mount
fucking
stands are. This
midfield.
is what Mount. Sorry, this is what Mount stands are. This is all the time. It's like you're fucking the guy you stand can't do it. So why are you
Took us to
expecting
8, bro.
him to do
He
it?
took us to 8 and 9th both times, man. Got 2 managers sacked.
Fucking
No,
dope.
He lives
Kova
up
is-
one moment in his entire career, man. From 7
Kova
fucking
is
finals,
good,
man.
but Kova is good, but he has his limit. Like,
Shameless.
he's good at helping defensive midfielder, but when he comes to the final third, sometimes he
Exactly.
looks like a freaking
But
donkey.
like, why are we?
Also,
Why are we
he
trying to
was
act
playing
like this?
injured. So
But also, why are we trying to act like Cover's like
Apparently,
some guy
it's the same
on the
injury
left?
as
Like,
the World Cup, right?
I like Cover, right? But it's, I'm not trying
I
to,
don't
like,
know.
I'm not trying to like be out here trying to say he's on the level of like a Zidane or a Seedorf or something like that. Like, he's
Exactly,
not.
yeah.
So why am I
No,
expecting
but
him
these
to carry the
motherfuckers, Scott,
entire
they would
midfield
act
by
like
himself?
Mount is on the level of Lampard. That's what my issue is. None of us act
Yeah,
like
no,
Kova
exactly.
is amazing.
That's
Like,
the thing. Is like
but
these,
they
these
act like
people
fucking
want
this
to pick up.
bum man who can't even pass is on the level
Exactly,
of Lampard.
but like
man.
this is the thing: is
Shameless.
people want to pick up one guy, say he's on the level of a Lampard or God forbid a Cruyff, but then they're complaining when a guy who I don't think he's good, I think he's really good, but he's not on the level of a
Have you-
Zidane or a Seedorf, isn't carrying the team. Make it make
Have
fucking
you-
sense.
Have you ever
Please make
seen?
it make
Have you
fucking
ever seen any Spanish or Portuguese team saying like, I want us to sign Mount. What a Gvardiol he is, man. Never happens, bro.
Well,
that guy
because
is only
hold
rated
on a
as
second,
English.
because everybody from there wants to come to English league, not the way around. So don't put that.
But no,
shit,
no,
man.
don't tell me
Portuguese
that
league, man.
because when Beckham or Bale, whenever they first came into the scene, every team in Spain wanted them because they were on that level that they could add something great to a big team. I have never ever seen
Yeah,
Mount.
that's
that
Real
level, man.
Madrid and Barcelona. Don't tell me about Benfica.
But these
or
guys are
Chelsea.
acting like he's on the level of Lampard, which is my point, Alex. I'm just making that if
Okay.
he was as good as that
Alright.
Lampard,
I'm
he'd be
trying
linked
to
with these guys, man.
look.
Some people are overhyping it. That's why.
Yeah, some people are
For me,
retarded after that. I know
for
that,
me
bro.
to answer that Michi guy saying that we're playing so bad, I don't have problem with Kova, like I said, with specific areas of the ball, but we have some exactly same player on the other side. His name is Kante. So if you have that kind of player, but you will have another midfielder that can actually be good on the and the higher up of the midfield, it will be perfect. We will be more creating. But we have Jorginho that does not go good forward because limitation. Jorginho Kova that goes good up top, but not good at the top. And same as Kante. He has a really good going forward. But
Big
at
up
the
Ram,
end
man.
of
Big
the
up Ram, man.
day, at the final third, neither Kante, neither Kante or Kova do well.
Yeah, but
I just
I can't lie, that big Rom comment made me laugh.
it did. No, but Scott, do you like these guys? They argue like that Kova is not creative, but we have a guy who plays an attacking midfield, yeah, and he has 3 open play assists, man. Someone have some fucking shame, bro.
But this is
These
but I
people are
don't
shameless,
understand.
man.
Again, I don't
These
like.
people are shameless.
But the thing is,
no,
right?
I
it's-
agree with Ram. La Liga wanted Chelsea midfielders, but when Kai said Portugal and shit like that, that makes me laugh.
No. I said
Alex,
like I
wait,
said when they
Alex,
write
you said
about like,
Kante.
the
players,
biggest,
man.
the biggest thing for me with this is like in terms of the creativity thing is, and this is just in general, is people are warped by what De Bruyne and Lampard have done. Like people expect like that level of creativity from every midfielder now, and that doesn't happen. That's not how midfielders work. Those guys are anomalies. Stop expecting every midfielder to be making like 60-yard passes like 10 times a game. It doesn't work. Like it just doesn't work like that.
And to answer another like Spain and Italy and Germany, yes, back then Spain, Italy, and Germany league-wise was actually higher than now. Those 3 leagues literally fall off the ass. Literally,
Yeah, but they
Italy
still have like
is dead. La Liga is almost dead.
Yeah, but we're not arguing
Germany,
about the level of the league,
it was
man.
never English players going to Germany.
But Alex, we're not arguing the level. We're arguing about like the fact when those guys.
But that's how the
Yeah, but who's
best-
the last team to win? Who's the last team to win the Champions League? Or let's say
Oh
for the
my
last
God.
5-6 years.
who's the team that won before that?
The point we made and why Ram agrees with me is the fact that this guy, if he's as good as these fuckers say they are, he's as good as Lampard, then every fucking bigger club that is bigger than Chelsea should be coming for him. But it doesn't happen.
That's the problem. You take those comments to your heart. I don't give a shit. If
No,
say
because
that
I'm-
you look-
Because
he's
I'm
Cruyff.
debunking those comments. That's the point, though. That's why I said they say that he's the mineral. He's only
Oh,
23.
you're
He's gonna be
debunking those
amazing.
points. I just don't pay attention to them. If you think that I'm taking offense when somebody says he's Cruyff, I'm
Unfortunately,
going to the level of
nice
dumbness to
guy,
answer
man.
them.
You know, I like to help the mentally challenged, man. I like to
Oh,
help them,
I
man.
see.
I even donate for Christmas. You know, that's how I am, man.
You donating, you.
I'm a nice guy, man.
You
I help
yeah,
the
you
mentally
give him
challenged.
back.
Kai, you're
You
nice
give-
but extreme at the same time, man.
You're giving
Fatur, you
back
have
to
no-
the
Fatur,
society,
Fatur.
man.
Stop it, bro. Don't even start, bro. Don't even put your camera off. Put your camera off. Good boy, man. Stop it, man. Don't let me come. I have a lot of comebacks to you, bro. Stop it, man. Oh man. Yeah, but
Ron,
come on.
The
you,
one
you
midfielder
just
that we
heard me
miss the
saying
most.
that league is different, man.
That's one player. That's one player that I would like to have him on Chelsea. That is Matheus Cunha.
What?
Mateus Cunha. Shit, I ain't done my research on him, but
You did not say Mateus Cunha.
yep, you said him.
You mean the dude who's just about to sign for Wolves?
Yeah, I would like to have him on Chelsea in there, but I think.
Well, why is that, bro? Why is that,
Fatur,
bro?
why is
By
your
the way-
standard so
by the
low,
way,
bro?
is-
Why?
Everybody knows-
He's the same as Kovac. I don't understand him.
He's a striker, bro. What are you talking about?
He's a striker. I thought he was in midfield.
Jesus, hey, you wanted him at Chelsea.
Fatur,
Jesus.
Fatur.
You wanted someone and you didn't even know their position, bro.
Sorry,
Fatur,
what?
who's gonna take me to work data for them, bro? You're the company bankrupt, bro.
You just
Bankrupt.
got your master's and a pretend degree.
Exactly, man.
skills.
That's data science,
Look
bro.
at me.
Data
I thought he
science,
was
bro.
in midfield. Yeah, I thought he was in midfield.
First, before you do data, okay, I'm gonna give you a small
I
thing
haven't done
about
my
data.
research a lot.
Before you talk, before you start setting up data, you should put them in the right categories, bro.
Jesus.
That's the first thing you should be doing, bro.
I think you need to learn. I think you need to learn what Windows Excel is first.
You see why I don't talk about players I haven't researched? This is
I genuinely
why.
thought for a
This is
second
why.
I thought you were talking about Nunez, and then you said it again, and I was like, no, he's means Mateus Cunha. What the fuck?
I just saw it on Twitter today.
I
Somebody,
wanted to sign someone just because he heard their name, bruv.
This
know-
is
you know,
the
but-
kind of fans that call him Cruyff.
You're right.
This is the kind of fans that call him Cruyff.
exactly. Huh?
I was gonna say,
Shameless
at
people,
best,
man.
if you want to talk about midfielder, like Big Ron said, like at best he can play as like a 10 as like a second striker, but man's not like an 8, which is what we would say. What?
That's sweat.
Ah, Fatur, man. Fatur, man.
Oh, Fatur, love you, bro, man.
You are never beating those NPC allegations, bruv. Never
But
beating.
he can't beat them, man. He can't, man.
It would never be him.
I swear, what kind of pretend university you went to, man?
Bro, imagine
Oh,
you hire Fatur.
Let me
to do
guess,
that-
you
that
want
is science,
Zubimendi
man.
as
Ah,
well,
that-
bro.
The company's gonna go under like Enron, man.
Nah, I want
Straight
Bellingham.
down, bro.
I want Bellingham. Man.
Nah, we love you, Fatur. We love you, man.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I want
you're
Bellingham at
fucking
the team.
hilarious, bruv.
I literally, I think Bellingham is the same player that Russian kid is, and he doesn't cost this amount of money.
I actually don't know
And
where
I
that Russian kid plays because I thought he was a winger, but apparently he's a midfielder. Like I
He's
genuinely don't know. where he
midfielder,
plays.
but he can drift into the wing position. He likes to play. He likes to play a little wide. I start to watch him a little bit more to keep an eye on him. I think it depends how they play, like the where the manager wants him. He's technically a midfielder because he drops deeps before and go get the ball and help and pass it all the way forward. You know, but he also plays as a winger, like on the kind of like Mount wants to be playing, but more creative wise. You know what I'm
Stop it,
saying?
man. Stop it, Alex. man.
Just-
Stop it, bro.
maybe that's why we're looking, because he actually
Mount is as creative as a
midfielder that
typing
can play
machine,
on the
bro.
wing.
Stop it.
Yeah, the current style is like a Saka, but I think he's direct. That's what it is. Azaka is
Speaking of Saka, did you see the Arsenal fan who put
No,
Saka
no.
with
Nobody
Mbappe and
brought
Haaland?
Mount up,
I got,
bro.
got killed, man.
Also, bro, why do you have to bring the
No.
F1 rating? Like,
no.
you know what cracks me up about these Mount standards? They got all, as well. They got all
Who rates
everyone
him in the
rates
world?
him.
Who?
No one
Who rates
does,
him in the world,
bro.
No
I
one
can
rates
tell
him in
you
the
now,
world, bro.
bro. His stocks have never been lower. They've never been lower.
I
Even
actually-
Potter let him sit on the bench and talk to the kit man, bro. For the whole
Literally,
fucking
bro,
tournament, man.
you got to rest on
Dali,
the
I
Mount.
actually disagree
man.
with you
Let
on
him
Saka.
fall
I
out
don't think he
and then
plays
bring
like a
it up.
Saka.
You don't need to bring it up, bro. Not a Mount stand. Couldn't Mount play 8 with a proper DM? He's dropped and defended before the few times he's played as an 8. That couldn't work. No, because we're relying on Mount to be the creative outlet.
Yeah,
in that
and
three,
why
he's
are we
not
trying to
that.
fit players just for the sake of fitting them in? Like, when has Chelsea become like about one player? Though I don't get that fucking whole arguments. Couldn't we do this with him? Why?
Well, that's
Why?
my point about the
Yeah, but
general in the football.
Yes,
Yeah.
he could. The thing is, like, Ken is right here. Like, yes, he 100% could play with a proper DM. Cool.
Is
Guess
he
what? That
gonna
means
be a
Rice
top
ain't.
four?
Rice isn't. No, but the thing is, like, you could get out a tune out of that midfield if you had, say, Mount, let's say Cover, and let's say a proper DM. But that means that's not Rice. That's you're going and getting someone like this Zubimendi, like a Fabinho type, where they are primarily a DM, where they're not. Yeah, like they're literally not going forward. Because guess what? With Mount's play, with the way he is in the final third and in
He has
midfield,
no defensive awareness.
he's going to lose the ball a fuck ton of times, and that DM is going to have to do so much clearing up. So yes, that could work. Means not Rice isn't that guy. Then, if you want a DM to play with Mount as an 8, that's not Rice. Sorry, it's just not Rice.
They want them all to play together like a fucking
hold on a second.
dumb and dumbers holding hands and losing the ball.
First of all, if you saying that, like, if you play in midfield, Mount and Rice will never be on the same side of the field. Shouldn't, technically. Well,
I don't know. Like,
no, I think it is a single pivot. Is a double pivot, yes, but I don't. Nah, it's.
For me personally, I just think whoever you've got, number one, that DM's going to have to do more work than they probably should. Number two, whoever that second midfielder is going to have to do more work than they should. Like,
they might sign him, they might not.
Isn't me the one that said that the people around Jorginho has to work more? No? Oh, okay. Just checking.
Everybody needs to work more, bro. That's why we're 8th.
My problem is we are so
If I won that giveaway, probably would lose it.
Look,
come on, man. His assisting ain't that good.
My problem with Mount playing in
Hey, Pakudoku, go away, man.
Look, do you know when what I have problem with people saying just put Mount back in his 8?
Oh, it's signed shirts. I don't want that shit. Fuck that. 5 million.
Look,
it's a signed shirt. What the fuck do I want that for? Sorry,
Mount is 8. The problem is, when did the last time he played at 8? And the last time I remember he played 8, he was shit. So
I think he's played 8 about like 3 or 4 times this season, and he's had like it's been like 50-50 in terms of good performances and shit performances from what I can remember. I could be wrong, but this is what I remember.
It's actually not 50-50 towards the game. It's 50-50 in one game. Like, it's not out of all 50-50. This game, it was never his good in that midfield. He was always he was there. You see what I'm saying? He was never like man that like 8, like you see 8s. You see what I'm saying? So for me, please tell me how you know that Mount is going to be good as 8, because I don't remember him playing.
Didn't he play 8 for England? And he was so bad that Potter benched him for 3 games.
No.
The thing is, like, Ram might be right when he says, like, maybe I'm saying that we need a more mobile DM in that situation. Honestly, I don't know what it is. I just can't picture a midfield with Rice and Mount together working. I just can't picture it. I can't picture a scenario in which that works. And I agree with what Big Ron said as well, where he said, like, players can do a job, but, like, doing a job doesn't mean we're winning the title. Do a job is what, like, and if, like, teams like Klopp, teams like City or Liverpool at their best have one player doing a job, and it's like having Ake at left back when he can actually play at left back and it works. Like, that's their version of doing a job.
And you know what, Scott, like, how I counter that with the players that do the job. Look at City. They have
and that's exactly they
every
have
position that they
like
do, and then they have backup to do that, and that's why they win the
De
Premier League.
Bruyne,
I hate to people look at Liverpool
Sterling
like that's what we should aim for. Like,
actually, we should not aim what Liverpool has. Liverpool is done.
I know.
Oh yeah, no,
it's been 2 years.
Liverpool is fucking done. What I'm trying to say is, people like when the football director was there and he was actually arguing with Klopp and bringing the players instead of what Klopp wanted, they were doing fine signings. The last 2 or 3 years, they didn't go with it. Klopp start to take his signings, his personal signings. That's why we got with that 100 mil player. So no, I want my Viagra man to be arguing with my coach, saying, "Look, this is better. Don't do this. This is better."
Wait, did you just
That's
say
the
Viagra?
reason.
What did you mean
Yeah, I
Viagra?
forgot his name. His Viga.
Ah, the guy. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about Viagra for?
I'm, me and the name, so just give him
Vivell,
nickname
man,
so I will
Vivell.
remember. Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, Mount is not the answer for 8. And Mount is the reason. I think Chelsea's at fault. He was young and a good prospect. We killed him by keep replacing and put him in the positions that he should never be played. We literally fill it up holes with Mount throughout the 3 or 4 years now. And I think the Mount problem shouldn't be a problem. We should build what we want to build and leave him alone for a while. Let him get back into the team the way the new manager wants. Unless he keeps doing, I will not be more upset if we get proper strikers and Mount still plays on the offensive 3. You see what I'm saying? That will be my
Worst.
worst. That will. You see what I'm saying? If I will see, what's his name? What's that guy that from Germany comes to Chelsea?
Nkunku.
Whatever. Nkunku Liao and if we have Nkunku Liao, Aubameyang, Sterling, Pulisic, and front three will be Mount. Fuck, I'm done.
We'll be 8.
I'm not even gonna lie. At that point, I might go on loan and watch some other football, fam, because I can't watch that. I'm sorry, I can't watch that. I can't be watching this dude fucking like
doing a
get
job,
away
man. That's a good
sit in the midfield. I can't do it. I refuse.
Nature boy, Mount gonna drop in midfield. I would like to, but is he like I don't remember him playing well. When did the last time he played well consistently in the midfield? He's not one of the 2 pivot midfielders. That's a fact. So he has to play in the midfield higher than 2 pivots. Or I so disappointed how he turned out at Chelsea. How mismanaged he was.
I'm disappointed that he's still at Chelsea, but yeah, I agree. But did you guys see about the De Jong news that Fabrizio just talked about?
No, what did he say?
That he could have a chance to leave in January if he still doesn't play for
Big
Barca.
Rom, that's the big question. If Nkunku comes, Mount plays the same occupying same territory. You can see Mount and Kai Havertz going for the same territory in the box. You can see it. They going to the same place. And Aubameyang all the way across, sitting and whacking up on the other side and nothing to do. And those 2 fuckers are doing whatever they do. I gotta go feed my kids, man.
Oh man, Alex is a gift, man. Yeah, man. But the thing is, like, I just think this Chelsea team, like, with time, will overgrow Mount, man. Like, if we want to prosper, I think this team will outgrow Havertz and Mount, because I just see Chelsea being so much better without them. Just that their national teams are so much better without them, man. That's just my prediction for it. And if not, we can always stay 8th.
We'll just have to see on that one. We'll just have to see. Was there any other news? Vlahovic is just the same old shit.
Did you guys talk about Vivell?
Yeah, he's finally signed and he's going to be working with Potter on transfers, which will be very good to see. But we need to see who comes in and how they improve the squad. But that will come with time. We obviously have an aim to have the whole squad sorted out by 2024. And we're bringing in a bunch of youth players for the future past that. So there does look like there's a plan in place. Just need to see how it's implemented. But it's positive. It's all positive.
Hey, man, I can't wait for that game. Man. Finally, some good news today. That game is going to be good, man.
What, Bournemouth?
Yeah, the Bournemouth game, man.
Yeah,
I didn't want to watch it.
I
didn't want to watch it, but now I'm excited for it. I do think we're going to win, man.
I just look. There will be a game. And whatever happens. But I don't know if I'm looking forward.
I am willing to put money. Yeah, if Mount doesn't play this game, we will win it. and by more than 1 goal. I'm willing to put money on it. Whoever want to bet with me, let's do it.
I
he
I
doesn't
won't
play-
take you up on that one out of lack of faith for the squad. But Mitchy boy, I think that's a bet for you, my friend. If you're about, let
don't
Kai
know,
know
man.
if you want to
Mitchie,
drop
can
that
your
bet.
McDonald's salary cover it up the bet, bro, or you need it to live, man? I don't know. Man.
Wait, Carl, you're betting on a Mitchie Middle spot, yeah? Flipping out.
Who?
And apparently Bournemouth are missing a few players because
Yeah, they got the flu.
Yeah.
So that won't mean nothing. That
One
1-1 draw. A
1-1
tough
draw.
performance.
Watch
We
them
gave it
miraculously
our all
heal,
on the
man, for
bridge.
the game, man.
Mitchie, bro, we never slander man, by the way. We just criticize him.
Well, if Dusan
I slander him, man. He's a shit player, and I hope he remains not play for us ever again, man. Well, probably like arguably one of the worst players I've seen at Chelsea being this picked up, man.
Oh no,
And by a
Havertz
mile as
still
well, man.
exists. Havertz still
No,
exists.
I don't know, man. For me, there's just like Dumb and Dumber, man. It's like two
Dumb.
two
I'll
cheeks
say
of
the
the same
bar
ass,
is in
bro.
hell, but Mount has offered me more consistency, even if
Two
the bar
cheeks
is
out
in
of the
hell.
same ass, man. That's what they are for me, Lewis. Two cheeks of the same ass, bro. A problem that needs
Yep,
to be
and they're
solved. man.
constipated, and even that arse has no service.
A
But
virus that needs to be cured. That's what I feel about them both, man.
A virus needs to be cured.
big facts, big facts. But we are going to wrap up the stream here. It's been a really good discussion. We might be back tomorrow, depending on what content's out there. But yeah, we're starting to get back into the regular swing of things, and Chelsea will be back in 6 days. Yay.
Hey,
Can't
man.
wait.
Lighten up, man. There's no mount, man. It's gonna be fluid football, man. It's gonna be
I will
enjoyable,
lighten
man.
up once I see some consistent performances. Right now, I've seen shit, and shitter with sprinklings of shit on top. But hey, we will see. Big up, everyone. Like and subscribe. What will we leave you? We'll leave you with the GOAT. Big up, like, subscribe, and up the Chelsea.